So we're going to go over the numerology of Antares. And yeah, I'm just going to show you and break down. There's quite a lot to go over here, but it's going to make a lot of sense once we're done. So the apparent visual magnitude is 0.6 plus 1.6, and it's the 15th brightest star in the night sky. So 0.6 we have, we have a 6 here, okay? And that can also break down to a 3 plus a 3, right? Which would equal 33. Okay, and then we also have a 1.6 here, which could be a 16, right? 1.6, 16, or 1 plus 6 equals a 7. Okay, so then we have our first set of numbers located at 170 parsecs. 170 equals 1 plus 7 plus 0 equals an 8. 550 light years from the Earth. 550, so that's a number 55 right there. It could also mean 5 plus 5 equals a 10, right? This 8, I wanted to show you, can also break down to a number 44, which can also be broken down to a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 2, which can also be broken down to a 1, 1, because 1 plus 1 is 2, a 1, 1, a 1, 1, and a 1, 1. That's 2 sets of 11, 11. Okay, so right there, I hope you can see that. So we got that, and then the right ascension is 16, 29. Again, we have another 16, and the 29 is an 11, because 2 plus 9 equals 11. Then we also have the spectral type is an M 1.5 lab minus LB 2.5 V. And so the 1 plus the 5 equals a 6, which can also, again, remember, can be a 33 because 3 plus 3. And then we also have 2 plus 5 here with the 2.5 equals a 7. And look, right, what we got here. We have a 6 plus a 7. We got a 13, okay? Antares constellation. Apparent magnitude, so we also had 0.6, right? The 1.6 minus 1.6 plus a 5.5. So here I wanted to show you, we also have within the numerology of 55 again, 88 constellations minus 15 is a 73. 7 plus 3 equals a 10. 88 divided by 15 equals a 5.8. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7. 5 plus 8 also equals 13. Okay. And I'll show you the pages where I've done all of this, but I wanted to show you how I'm going about doing, it's like Ramanujan numbers, numerology, which if you watch my Hall of Mirrors reading, you'll understand how to break these numbers down more. I just kind of wanted to show you so you have an understanding of how I'm doing this. We also have this 2.44590 S for the right ascension. 2 plus a 4 would equal a 6, which could be a 33, remember? And we also have a 9 with the 4 and 5. It's 9. Okay, and then we have the 9 plus a 7, which is 16. Plus 0 would also be 16. And this is the letter S right here. So we have a 6, a 9, and a 16. And then the declination is negative 26 degrees, 25, 55.2094. So we have the 2 plus a 6 equals an 8, which again equals the 44, which can equal the 22, which again can equal that 11, 11, 11, 11, right there. And then we have the 2 plus a 5 equals a 7. And then we have the 5 plus a 5 equals a 10. And we have the 2 plus 9 equals 11. Plus a 4 equals 15. And a 1 plus a 5 equals a 6. Also 33. Okay. So just to show you here, this is how I got all those numbers in calculations, okay? And just to show you here, this is exactly what I did on my sheet. And as you can see here, I hope you can see this okay. It might be easier for me to do it separately. Hold on. So here's all the calculations that we did together on the camera, and here we have the same thing. So as you can see, with all the numerology here that we've done for this first page, we have a 16, 6, 33, 7, lots of 55s, lots of 10s, 11s, 13s, 33s, 11, 11s, and 55s. Okay, so I connected a lot of them. We have the 16 here. We have the 55s here. This was right within the declination, right in the center point, 55. We have, in the spectral type, we have 33, 13, 7. So lots of 16s, 33s, 55s, 11, 11s, 7s, and 10s, right? Okay, and 13s. So there's that. And we'll go ahead, and since I did this one, erase the board, and I'll show you how I did the second set of numbers, okay? So again, this is for Antares. And we have the UB color index is a 1.34, which equals a 1 plus a 3 plus a 4 equals the number 8, okay? Then we have the BV color index, which is a 1.83. A 1 plus a 8 plus a 3 equals a 12. And a 12 equals the 1 plus a 2, which also breaks down to a 3, okay? This right here, the 183, is a Tesla code. Nikola Tesla. Okay, I have lots of reasons for this that are personal, that I've gone through and I've received. So yeah, the 183 can also stand for like a January year, a January month, and an 83 year. And like I said, for my own personal reasons, that's why I'm saying it's a Tesla code. I just know. This is a variable type LC. Okay, we have that. So there's 2 stars with an Antares. There's Scorpio A and Scorpio B. We're going to go over Scorpio A first and its numerology within Antares, because remember, it's a binary star system. Antares is, it's actually 2 stars in one. The mass is an 11 minus 16. So again, we have a number here, 11. And we have another 16. Okay. Oh, and I even wrote here, it can also, like if you've watched my Holly Mirrors reading, 1116 can equal an 11 plus a 1 plus a 6, which could equal a 1. An 11 plus 1 plus 6 is 7, so 11, 17, which is the mirror number, palindrome, to that big number that we saw throughout that Hall of Mirrors reading, a 711. So 117 is just the reflection of 711. These are big numbers here that mean a lot of symbolic occult referencing. Okay, we have a radius of 680. That equals a 14. And that can also be broken down to a 5. So 1 plus 4 equals 5, okay? This says it varies by 19%. So if you see the number 19 or 16, which would be the flipped upside down reversal palindrome of 19. See, let's do this better. $19, $16. They're like the same, okay? It's a reversal palindrome. Same word as that, but a reversal, okay? Varies by 19%. There's your 16 again. 19 and 16, okay? And a 1 plus 9 for the 19 also equals a 10. We got that number 10 again, okay? The luminosity, and I'm doing this so you guys can see how I do these numbers. Okay, so we have the 75900 plus 53,000. 7 plus 5 is a 12, plus 9, plus 0 equals a 21. A 21 broken down, 2 plus 1 equals 3. And then we have this 53,000, and we also have a 31,200 within this luminosity equation. So we have, when we add that, 84,200, and 8 plus a 4 equals a 12, and a 1 plus 2 equals a 3. We have within this, that would be then 12,200. This is an interesting number, the 122 here, because I've been seeing that a lot and it combines here. So I wrote down 122 as a very auspicious number within this equation. And then we also have 1 plus 2 equals 5. Okay, so we broke that all down here. All right, so we'll go over here, there, here, and there. Now we have to do surface gravity. Is a negative 0.1 plus a negative 0.2. CGS equals 1 plus 2 equals a 0.3. So we have a 3 here. And then the temp equals 3,660 plus 120K. So we have a 3 here. We have a 33 here and a 33 here. And then also the 1 plus 2 equals another 3. That's 6 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another super powered angel number there. Okay. Okay. And then we have a rational velocity of 20 kilometers per second. The 2 plus a 0 is a 2. So we have a number 2 here. I'm looking for repetitive numbers, remember, synchronicities that can like tie in and really get that strong resonance within this Antares constellation. We have the age equals a 15 plus or minus 5 to the 10th. And them here equals 1 plus 5 equals a 6, and a 6 plus this 5, 6 plus this 5, 1 plus 5 equals 6, 6 plus this 5 equals a number 11. Okay, so go over that there. That's where we got that 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. We have a 2, we have an 11. We have another 3 up here, okay? And this is that page where I did all those calculations, including that first whiteboard reference, and we had the 16 and the 9. There's the reversals there. We had the 117 and the 711, which is huge in the Hall of Mirrors reading. Just star that one. We have this auspicious 122. We have this 333, 333, and again 11, 11, 16, see? And we have a Tesla incarnation code, reincarnation code, 1.83. So, got that. Okay, so now we have Scorpio B. So this is the second star of Antares. We did Scorpio A. So the mass is a 7.2. I just wanted to reference this to the 13th, it said. I circled that too. Yeah, I did. Okay, so 7 plus 2 equals a 9, which breaks down to a 333. Okay, then the radius is 5.2. Again, to that 13th reference there, another 13, and 5 plus 2 equals a 7. Okay, that's the radial frequency, and then the luminosity, 2754, again to that 13th inclination. 2 plus 7 equals a 9. We have a 5 plus a 4 here at the end equals a 9. So we have a 99 code. Nina 99 red balloons. Code 99 also could equal 909. And again, we have 6 threes because each of these branches off to a 333 and a 333, which is 333, 333. Again with that number there. Okay. The surface gravity is 3.9, which is a 12. And a 1 plus a 2 equals a 3. The temp is 18,500. One plus 8 equals a 9, plus a 5 equals a 14, and a 1 plus a 4 equals a 5. Rational velocity, or the Lisin I, rational velocity, that's an R, is 250 kilometers per second. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Okay, and then it's classified as an M 1.5 lab minus LB. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Again, we have that 33 master number. Size is calculated to be 12 times the mass of our sun. So we have a 12, and remember, 12 also breaks down to a 3. So those are the calculations for Scorpio B. And then I have some for both of them, but here's that page there so you can see. And here we have the code 99 we got, the 333. We have some 7s here. 7s, we have another 33. We have a 12, which is a 3, and we have that angel number again, the 6 3s, 333, 333. Okay. Now we have two components of both Scorpio A and B. They have a projected separation of 79.1 or 529 AU. 7 plus 9 plus 1 equals a 16. Plus a 1 equals a 17. A 17 is a 1 plus 7, which can be broken down to an 8. An 8 again can be broken down to a 44. A 44, you know, can be broken down to that 2, 2, 2, 2, which again can be the 11, 11, 11, 11. Okay. I'm going to make some room here. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, and we have the 7 plus the 9 in this. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus the 9 equals our lucky number 16 again. Okay, it's cataloged as a double star, Scorpio A and B. Antares is. And we have its classification. Now, I'm going to make room on this board here for this. Its classification, how it is cataloged, is a J 16294.2626 and CCDM. So we have a 1 plus a 6 plus a 2 plus a 9 plus a 4 plus a 2 plus a 6 plus a 2 plus a 6, right? 1 plus 6 is 7, the 2 plus 9, 11 again, 7, 11 here, I just realized. Then we have a 4, 2 plus a 6 is an 8, 2 plus a 6 is an 8. We have a code 88. We have a code 711 here, but 7 plus 11 equals 18 plus 4 here equals master number 22, the master architect number. So we actually have a 2288. Okay. What's really cool about this that I want to show you, 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 plus 8, 16. 4 plus 16, 20. 2 plus 0, 2. What does 2 break down to? A 1 and a 1. The major resonance and overtone of how it's even cataloged is an 11. The signature soul number is an 11. Okay, and what's cool is the 8 plus 8 here, yeah, equals a 16 also, so we have another 16. But yeah, the soul signature number is 11. Number. So that's the soul signature, how it's cataloged and how it's written out as a number for the star. 11. Very cool. So now that you get the gist of how I do those calculations, just to give you an idea, I'm going to go over a little more numerology that's continued here. So Antares is available all night round through around May 31st, which is a palindrome reversal to the number 13. We have that 13 awareness again. Each year when the star is in opposition to the sun. So Antares was first reported to have a companion star by Johann Tobias Blurg during an occultation on April 13th, 1819. Again, 13. April is the number 4, plus a 1, plus a 3, plus an 18, 19, plus 19. 17 plus 1 equals 18, and 9 plus 9 equals 18. 18 plus 18, again, a code 99, because a 1 plus an 8 and a 1 plus 8 is a 99. 18 plus 18 also equals 36. 3 plus 6 is a 9. Or again, you can break this down to how I always do, which I'll show you again. What makes up a 9? A 3, a 3, and a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 3. Remember, I'm looking for synchronicities within these numbers. That's 6 3s again. Or a 9 is a 3, 3, 3. You can even add these up and have this be 9 3s, okay, if you want to go further. 9 3s, okay. The periodicity suggests the periods of 1,733 days, or 1650 plus 640 days. 1 plus 6 plus 5, 6 plus 5 is 11. We have actually a 111 here with a 111. We have the 6 plus a 4 is a 0, plus a 0 is 10. So this could be 1111, because 1 plus 0 is 1. So 111 and 1 is 4 ones, 1111. Antares is 4.57 degrees south of the ecliptic. 4 plus 5 plus 7 equals, again, that 16. It can also break down to an 88, which again can break down to those two sets of 1111. 4 plus 6 equals 10. One of the 4 first magnitude stars within 6 degrees of the ecliptic. So 4 plus 6, 10. Every year around December 2nd, the sun passes 5 degrees north of Antares. 12-2. Again, there's that 122 code number. 1 plus 2 plus 2 equals 5. 1 plus 2 plus 2 equals 5. So 1222, 12-2, and 122. So 5 plus 5 equals 10. So we have a 10-10 number as well. 10-10. Okay, but also 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 is a 1 plus a 1, which could be a 2, right? But a 2 also breaks down to a 1 plus a 1. A 1 plus a 1 is what? There's that 11, all within this Antares constellation, okay? Then, the last occultation of Antares by Venus took place on September 17th, 525 BC. The next one will be November 17th of 2400. I have the September broken down that I did. The 9 plus a 1 is a 10. The 7 plus a 5 here is a 12. And the 2 plus a 5 at the end is a 7. A 10 plus a 12 is a 22 master number. 22 plus 7 equals a 29. 2 plus 9 equals 11 again. Breaking down November 17th of 2400, 11 plus 1 equals a 12. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 4 plus 0 equals 4, plus another 0 would just be 12, 9, and 4. 12 plus 9 is a 21, plus a 4 equals a 25. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Again, we have that 117 number, okay, which is the palindrome to 711 again. So we have an 11 here and a 117 here. 11 plus 7 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. And 9 again breaks down to 333, okay? Venus will be extremely near on October 19th of 2117. Again, we have that 117. See that? And every night years thereafter through to October 29th, 2157, and it will pass the south of the star. So we have October 19th, 1019 equals a 119 code, which is Mary Magdalene code in simple gematria. It's also my birth time, so that one sticks out a lot. We have 10, 1 plus 9 equals 10, so we kind of have like a 10-10 code here going on. But remember, 10 and 11, again we have 11-11, because we have the 10, the 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is 11 divided by 15 here. 11 over 15, 1116, or 111, or 333, okay? So 1116, or 111, or 333. The illumination of Rho Ophiuchi cloud is a 13 symbol, because Ophiuchus is the 13th zodiac, so I'm seeing what I'm picking up as far as numerology goes. We have a 13 resonance there. It contains thousands of stars within a menage of 11 million years. Like we have that 11 there again, okay? And Antares is located 170 parsecs from Earth. The Rhoeophaeci cloud, referred to as the Antares Nebulae, otherwise identified as VOB 107 at 1.7, 1 plus 7 equals 8, breaks down to a 44, breaks down to a 22, which can break down to two sets of 11, because 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 11, okay? Seen nearly edge on with a period of 1,218 years and semi-major axis of about 2.9. 2 plus 9 equals 11 there again. And 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 8 here equals 12, and 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then we have a 622. Yes, so I saw 622 on the clock while reading this specific part, so I made sure to include that. 6 plus 2 plus 2 equals a 10. So we have 2, 11, 24. Is when I was reading the date too, so February 11th of 24. So we have that 211, 112, 211 also. Other recent estimates of the period have ranged from 880 years for a calculated orbit of 2,562 years for a Kepler's law estimate of 880. Well, 880 also equals master number 88, which 8 plus 8 breaks down to, again, 16. And 16 breaks down to 1 plus 6 equals a 7, or 88 can also equal that 44, which can also be 22, with two pairs, sets each of 11, which would equal 4 pairs of 11. The 529 AU again is the 80 billion kilometers separation of binary stars, Scorpio A and B. Outflow of matter is over 220 AU. 2 plus 2 plus 0 equals 22, which again, 11. In the Babylonian star catalogs dating from at least 1100 BCE, see all these 11s? Antares was called, aka, I wrote aka 11. Antares was called Gaba Give Tab, the beast of the scorpion in Malapan, which dates between 1100, again, and 700 BC. There's that 11-7 or that 711 backwards. And it is one of the stars of Ea, scorpion goddess Ishhara, which isn't the same as Ishtar. They're similar, but different. Antares appears in the flag of Brazil, which displays 27 stars. 2 plus 7 equals 9, which again breaks down to 333. So here's this numerology all together. These are all the numbers that we received from all those calculations that we did, including these pages. I'm going to keep this in order. So yeah, this is all that numerology here. So we have a 16, a 7, a 33, a 55, a 10, an 8, a 13, a 333, an 11, an 11, a 19, a 117, and a 711 reversal. And we'll go over that. A 119 and 911 reversal, a 3, and a 122. Now I wanted to tell you that Uriel, who you were drawn to, Verona, his date, his celebration day, Uriel's feast day, is celebrated July 11th, which is 7/11. You need to watch my Hall of Mirrors reading if you haven't. Yeah. Hall of Mirrors right here. And 119 again is my birth time, and backwards is 911, which I see a lot also, but 119 is also Mary Magdalene's name in simple gematria. Okay, we have a number 3 and a 122. And then the other numbers that we have, again, remember 333, 333, the 6 3s. We also have code number 99. We have 5, master number 22, master number 88, master number 2288. We also have the number 31 and its reversal of 13. We have 1117, we have 1116, we have 170 and 107. We have number 2222 and 4 pairs of 1111. So those were all the numbers that stood out within the numerology. Now the main ones that I was drawn to look up their meanings for you and the collective as well. 16, 55, 11, 13, 333, 333, 4 pairs of 11, 11, and 33. I was also curious about the number 99, as I've been seeing that a lot, and 122. So I looked up the meanings of these specific ones that stood out to me. 1111 just now on my clock. So the first one I go over is 16. 16. It's time to find balance in life. A profound change could be just around the corner. And this is what the angel numbers mean, okay? It's time to find balance in life. A profound change could be just around the corner. It can also show up when your angels want you to listen to your own intuition, when they believe you need a little support in making certain life choices, and can be seen as a lucky number, as it can be a message of hope and a positive sign of sweet changes coming your way. It can simply be your angels reminding you to be open and ready for changes and shifts in your current situation. The presence of angel number 1 means that a fresh start or a new beginning could be on the horizon, and the angel number 6 is connected to symmetry, balance, personal growth, and paying attention to our home life and spiritual life, along with our material world. Okay, so that's the meaning of angel number 16, which is the first one there. Then we'll go into number 11. Angel number 11 encourages you to be more attuned to the spiritual dimension of life, to seek meaning and purpose, and to trust the path you're on. 11 appears during a period of spiritual awakening or enlightenment. Something important is happening. This number signifies that you're being guided to a higher purpose, to embark on a new chapter in your life. It's a cosmic reminder to tune into the spiritual dimension and embrace the changes it's bringing. The key message is to trust your intuition, your gut feeling. That inner voice you sometimes hear is a powerful guide in your life. You have the ability to shape your life's path according to your desires. Utilize the law of attraction. It also means you have a spiritual support in numerology. 11. It also means you have spiritual support. In numerology, and you also might be drawn to numerology as well, of course, if you're watching this. And numerology, 11 is a master number. It's a cosmic door. Now this is huge. I need to star this because this makes a lot of sense. Okay. 11, it's a cosmic door that opens to spiritual awareness and inner wisdom. Dorothy. And you'll see why I point this out here coming soon. Okay. Dorothy. Dorothy. Dorothy of Oz. Portal. Door to inner awareness, spiritual wisdom. 11 is a symbol or a bridge, yellow brick road, bridge, rainbow bridge, midway station, Antares, just saying. 11 is a bridge connecting the spiritual and physical realms. And this leads you to your true calling. And this is huge because the star of Antares literally symbolizes this, connecting the spiritual and the physical realms. I'll go over that in a minute here. We have angel number 55. This represents change, growth, and a spiritual awakening. Changes are on the horizon in your life. See how much emphasis is on change within researching the meanings of these numbers. And what's crazy is while I was researching this, 5 days prior, I go to my Google to pull up something, and it shows on the Google homepage that a new star was forming in the Scorpius constellation, right where Antares is. New change. Like, it's literally giving birth to a massive star within this constellation. I was literally predicting the star before it formed. Like, while I was researching all of this, connecting all of it, and the stars forming. Do you see like how powerful our thoughts are and how they affect the physical world? Like, isn't that astounding? It's amazing. Okay, so represents change, growth, and spiritual awakening. Changes are on the horizon in your life. Embrace new experiences, even if they seem daunting at first. This number encourages you to be brave, stay positive, trust your intuition, and recognize your personal growth. Changes are coming your way, and you should welcome them. 5 is associated with adventure, adaptability, and embracing new opportunities. 55 intensifies these qualities. It's a reminder that change is a fundamental part of your journey, leading to personal freedom and growth. And right below this was an ad, and I think I took a picture on my phone. I don't remember if I kept it though, but it was an ad for Vega right below that. Which Vega is the main star in Lyra. So I think there's like an emphasis coming through Lyra as well as Pegasus here, because Pegasus has a lot of 5s and 555 within it. So this other star resonances are contributing to the messages, and I always make note with the synchronicities as they're occurring. Now this one's curious. This is angel number 333333, and I had to do some digging for this one. Okay, 6 threes. The significance lies in its connection to the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. It represents unity, balance, harmony, growth, and spiritual awakening. It can be seen as a sign of fortune. It also signifies divine protection from your guardian angels. The 3 represents balance between independence in relationships, or opportunities for professional development or monetary gain as well. Reminder to stay true to yourself and persevere towards achieving your goals for the right reasons while living an honest life. Additionally, seeing triple threes could be a sign of twin flame connections, soulmates that have been together through multiple lifetimes. So if you recently met someone, pay attention. 3 symbolize creative energy that encourages us to think outside the box, trust our gut, and take calculated risks. Savor life's little moments, follow our inner voice, and stay open-minded. Even when we don't agree with someone else's viewpoint, trust your intuition, make decisions with faith. Okay, so that's what 333 is. And then master number 33, you're guided and protected. Angel number 33 serves as spiritual guide and protector. It indicates you're being watched over and supported by your life's journey. It's a symbol of guidance, support, and personal growth. When you see this number repeatedly, it's the universe giving you a reassuring pat on the back, reminding you that you're on the right path and that you're not alone on your journey. It's like the universe saying, hey, you're a bit of a wise soul. Maybe you're meant to teach and share important things with others. It's like a nudge to spread some of that smartness around. 33 could also mean to balance stuff in your life, like work and fun, or take care of yourself and look out for your friends. It's your angels saying we're here to keep you safe. Also, think about being super creative, whether it's art, music, or whatever makes you tick. It's also like saying, hey, show the world what you've got. It's a high five to your dreams. It could tell you to aim big and go after what makes you happy. It's a master number. Importance of helping others and fostering unity, encouraging you to let your artistic side show and shine, and you have wisdom to impart, and you're meant to guide and teach others. So that's, yeah, a big one there. Okay. Then we have angel number 13. Angel number 13 signifies positive growth, emphasizing honesty, kindness, and the power to shape your future. Stay true to yourself, trust your inner strength, and believe in your ability to create a fulfilling path forward. Sometimes people think it's a sign of bad luck, but actually it's something positive sent by our guardian angels. The number 13 is a little nudge to believe in ourselves and trust that good things are on the way. Number 1 is about taking action, starting new things, and growing. It reminds us how powerful and independent we are. On the other hand, the number 3 is all about being creative and good at communicating. It brings energy for expanding and finding new ways to express ourselves. Number 13 holds a deep message about progress and finding our true path in life. It's also profound to spiritual awakening. It encourages you to connect deeper with tarot reading or automatic writing to explore and enhance your awareness and understanding of the spiritual realm. Okay, so that's 13. And then the 4 pairs of 1111, okay? 4 number 1s and sets, also the number 44. So 1111 is thought as a symbol of your own personal identity with your personhood. It's a nod from the universe that you're on the right path. 1111 for love. If you're in a relationship, developments are about to happen. Pay attention to what your partner can teach you. You need to focus on nurturing this relationship and possibly take it to the next level. The message for twin flames with this number. It's the imminent arrival or reunion of yours. It is a spiritual sign that your twin flame is nearby and you're being drawn together. The number 1 within this number is leadership. It's the ability to innovate, assertiveness, fresh start, personal success, independence, new beginnings. 1111 means prosperity is on its way. You are aligning with the energy of abundance. If you're single for love, This means be open to a whole new chapter in love life, that love is around the corner. You might soon encounter an individual who could have a profound impact on your life. And if you're going through a breakup, it's all a part of your spiritual journey. So while it can be painful, it opens doors for new opportunities and personal growth. And if you're in twin flame separation, this phase is necessary for personal growth before reuniting in a more harmonious and stronger relationship together. Trust the journey, no matter how challenging it may seem. And overall, 1111 is ultimately a reminder to check in with yourself and your spiritual progress. This number is all about spiritual awakening here. So those 4 pairs of 1111 is just like added emphasis onto all these messages here. Okay. I wanted to reiterate also 4 pairs of 1111. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could be seeing 1234 a lot, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. The number 4, I wanted to go over these numbers also. The number 4, it's time to release control and trust the divine safety and security, offering ancestor support and spiritual guidance. You are safe and stable. The example would be 4 walls, your solid foundation. 44 or 444 is a message for us to receive. 444 is also a Pleiades number because Pleiades is 444 light years from Earth. And there's an extra emphasis with this towards the 1111 message because we have 4 pairs of 1111, which is why I wanted to look up this number specifically. I also have more about the number 4, which I can get with like the elements and like strength and wisdom is also associated with the number 4. There's a lot more. I have a page on it that I might just insert here. Okay, the number 11, you're being guided to connect with a higher purpose to embark on a new chapter in your life. The number 99, code angel number, is completion and new beginnings. It encourages reflection and growth. And with that 122 number, it's like a fresh beginning, urging you to initiate things and take charge of your life. You're making progress on your spiritual journey and are capable of using positive energy around you to achieve your spiritual goals. And 1111, it's a wake-up call from the universe. Pay attention to your thoughts and what you're saying and feelings as they're manifesting in your reality. Trust that the new path presenting itself will be in your favor. Okay. So that's all the numerology of Antares, and there's going to be more that we dig into here. My daughter literally just like wrote down this while I was filming my reading.
And this is the secret chamber.
And this is like literally, like if you look at what I was filming, because she wasn't even in here. She was in the other room. And if you look at how similar that is to what I drew. Connecting those with the number 16. That's what drew me in. And the number 22 here, the number 5, 7, 100, all the same numbers. The 1s, the 10s, the 7, the 16, the 55, and the, because 4 plus 1 is 5, and the 22. And look, and at the end.
And that is Mesopotamia.
Yeah, and you were studying Mesopotamia in school the same time I was researching all this stuff. That's so crazy, Kenzie. It's so cool. Look at that, though. Look how crazy. You had no idea what I was filming.
No, I was over there.
I know, you were in a completely different room. There's no way. Okay, so we're going to go over more having to do with Antares. I wanted to mention here that the word medium, it's the practice of mediating communication between familiar spirits or spirits of the dead and living human beings. Mediumship became quite popular in the 19th century, United States and the United Kingdom after the rise of spiritualism as a religious movement. Modern spiritualism is said to date from practices and lectures of the Fox sisters in New York State in 1848. So the word medium came about in the late 16th century. It's denoting something intermediate in nature or degree. So it's basically the intermediary between the world of the living and the world of spirit. There's mental mediums which utilize telepathy. There's physical mediums. And there's a biblical account of the witch of Endor. And they can also see future dimensions and also mediate with, I would say, higher dimensional beings, archangels, and also light beings. So light beings would be, you know, aliens, ET, starseed, like me. There's this guy called J2 Knight, channels a 30,000-year-old man from Lemuria. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. Sight occurs in the mind's eye. Clairaudience is clear hearing. Ability to hear voices and thoughts of spirits. Clairsentience is clear feelings. Clairgustance is clear tasting. Claircognizance, clear knowing, just knowing. And yeah, channel messages. I'm saying all this real quick because it's going to pertain to this reading, okay? I got the word wasp, 121, rains rubies. I got the song Chandelier by Sia with that. This also coincided with the Uranian star seeds, Uranus and 12, midnight. 23 years ago, Herschel discovered Uranus, 4.503 billion years old, which is a 12. Lowest temp is negative 370 degrees. Highest temp is 116. There's that 116 that flips to a 119 palindrome, which is my birth time. 119 is, and 16 will be important here coming up if I haven't gone over that already. And another message is you're at 40% right now. You're almost halfway there. There's double doors, ornate glass above. On the flip side, the entrance opens at 50%. So you're at 40%, we're at 40%. The entrance is opened at 50%. I got the words Tribes of Our Own, Space Stories of Us. If you haven't watched my Hall of Mirrors reading, you need to go watch it. You have to. You have to understand not only numerology, but also like the symbology of everything. Just watch it. You'll be grateful that you did, because otherwise, like, a lot of messages aren't going to make sense. They still will, but they won't make as much sense. Remember that Uranus is literally a celestial dragon. I was getting dragon energy with Antares as well. I just want to see how far back. There's a lot to go over here, but we're going to do it, okay? Let's go over Antares. Okay. So in the Babylonian star catalogs dating from at least 1100 BCE, which we went over in the numerology, Antares was called Gaba, Give, or Tab, the beast of the scorpion. In Malapan, which dates back to 1100 and 700 BC, it is one of the stars of Ea in the southern sky and denotes the breast of the scorpion goddess known as Ishhara. Later names that translate as the heart of the scorpion include, which is Arabic, Quab al-Akrab. This has been directly translated from the ancient Greek Cardia Scorpio. Cor Scorpii was a calque of the Greek name rendered in Latin. In ancient Mesopotamia, now this is crazy because at the same time that I was researching all of this, my daughter was learning about Mesopotamia and also Egypt in school. Weird, right? Okay. In ancient Mesopotamia, Antares may have been known as Erbat, Belushaziri, the lord of the seed, Kakshiza, the creator of prosperity, Parlugal, the king, Masusar, the hero and the king, and Kakabur, the vermilion star. In ancient Egypt, Antares represented the scorpion goddess Thurket and was a symbol of Isis. So Antares represented the scorpion goddess Thurket and was the symbol of Isis in their pyramidal ceremonies. It was called TMS in Hunt, the red one of the prow. The red one of the prow. Keep that in mind, because this red is very significant. In Persia, Antares was known as Setivis, one of the 4 royal stars, which I'll go over here in a minute. In India, it was with a Scorpii, and Scorpii were Jasetha, the eldest, biggest, probably attributing to its size, one of the Nakshatra, Hindu lunar mansions. The ancient Linese called Antares Zinzur, the second star of the heart, because it was the second star of the mansion Zin. It was the national star of the Shang dynasty. It was sometimes referred to as Chinese Pinyin, Huaxing, also known as fiery star because of its reddish appearance. The Maori people of New Zealand call Antares Rehua and regard it as the chief of all stars. Rehua is father of Puanga, Puaka, also known as Rigel, an important star in the calculation of the Maori calendar. The Wachobeok Kaori people of Victoria, Australia, knew Antares as Digit, son of Marpion. Kirk, also known as Arcturus. The stars on each side represented his wives. The Kalan Kaor saw Antares Bebligan as brother of B, Enlil, or Altair. Antares appears in the flag of Brazil, which displays 27 stars. There again is 2 plus 7 is 9, which is that 333, each representing a federated unit of Brazil. Antares represents the state of Piauí. The 1995 Oldsmobile Antares concept car is named after the star. Antares is one of the medieval Bohemian fixed stars. Antares is also the name of a track in the album Micro Worlds, released by artist Closey in 2023. When I was writing this down, I wrote down that I had come across the new Wicked trailer. It's coming out in Thanksgiving, Wizard of Oz, Wicked, Wizard of Oz, so that's important. And then an Annie commercial had also come on after that, and the movie Ghost. Okay, so interesting. And then it'll coincide later on. And then the word Lisin. Okay, so the name Lisin. We're going to go over that. Antares, this is important to know. Antares appears to be a single star when viewed with the naked eye, but it's actually a binary star system, which means it's 2 stars in one, Scorpii A and Scorpii B. 2 and 1, it's a massive supergiant star. It's huge, red supergiant. The traditional name Antares derives from the ancient Greek meaning rival to Ares, due to the similarity of its reddish hue to the appearance of the planet Mars. Rival to Ares, A-R-E-S, due to the similarity of its reddish hue to the appearance of the planet Mars, and it's cataloged as a double star. We went over that numerology. The comparison of Antares with Mars may have originated with early Mesopotamian astronomers because the name was associated with the goddess Lisin, L-I-S-I-N. It sounds like listen to me, doesn't it? Some scholars have speculated that the star may have been named after Antar or Antara ibn Shaddad, the Arab warrior hero celebrated in the pre-Islamic poems Mu'alagat. However, the name Antares is already proven in the Greek culture in Ptolemy's Almagest and Tetrabylos. Antares is available all night around May 31st of each year, when the star of opposition to the sun, Antares, then rises at dusk and sets at dawn as seen at the equator. Antares was first reported to have companion star by Johann Tobias Berg during an occultation on April 13th. We went over that. Here, the Ngarrindjeri Aboriginal people from South Australia observed the variability of Antares and incorporated it into their oral traditions as Wayangari, meaning red man. Okay. The 33 is a sun and master number. It has to do with Christ consciousness. Also the number 13. On here was already written some things. The all-seeing eye, the watchers, was written on this page. And they kind of had me channel things in between what was already written. Read it to you and see if it makes sense. All-seeing eye, the Watchers, question mark. Masons equal generational bloodline of Nephilim. And I saw a post about this. Like, I was doing research on my own, and I was researching where these symbols came from, having to do with the Masons. And one of the Masonic groups was literally called the Nephilim. And they like worship the Nephilim, or they like believe maybe that they're a part of the Nephilim. So I'm questioning now, is that the generational bloodline of Nephilim? The Watchers to the all-seeing eye. Could the Watchers be meaning like also the all-seeing eye? And I wrote, everyone is a medium, down to this all-seeing eye that was written, down to an interpretary energy between realms, veils, dimensions, and a temporary 3D avatar. Interprets based upon incarnational and outside incarnational experiences. Okay, they want me to read this too. Tubal Cain or Tubal Cain is a person also. It's not just a symbol. It's a person mentioned in the Bible in Genesis 4:22, known for being the first blacksmith, the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron, a descendant of Cain. He was the son of Lamech and Zillah. Tubal Cain was the brother of Naamah and half-brother of Jabal and Jubal. Someone had asked me, why does Scorpio moon conjunct Uranus twice in February, the 2nd and 29th? So the February 2nd would be a 2, the 29th adds to an 11, which also I was getting like 112 and 211. That keeps coming up. That adds to a 4, which breaks down to a 22. 2 plus 2 plus 9 is a 13 also, which adds to a 4, which also breaks down to a 22. So I don't know. I did just do a Uranus reading. You might want to watch that. You don't have to though, but it's interesting that 211 keeps popping up. The number 22, that master architect number having to do with the Hall of Mirrors reading energy. Okay, so this is kind of all over the place, so bear with me here. I wrote down Dorothy finds Tartaria and uncovers the wizard behind the curtain, the veil, beyond the veil. Also, the number 119 I realized equals 29. Ooh, and that ties into that last message about the Scorpio moon and Uranus, so that's interesting. Okay. Lisin's name, which is that goddess of Antares. Lisin, we're going to go over Lisin, okay? Because there's a lot here. Lisin's name, aka Lisi, what does that remind you of backwards? Isis to me. Also, I put in parentheses Lizzie, question mark, because Lisi also kind of sounds like Lizzie. Negun, Negun, was also used in astrological literature for her name. It has been argued that Lisin's standing was initially high, but her character remains poorly known. She is addressed as Amma, or mother. Early dynastic Zamihin, she was a mother goddess, quote unquote, and could reflect the authority of a given goddess. In incantations, Lisin could be associated with a variety of materials, including hulu and kibrutu, both presumed to be minerals, horn of the gazelle, and medicinal plants, ninu, azapiru, and salu. Something here with Sarah and Sarah. My last name technically would be translated to Sarah. A Jesus commercial popped up while writing down this other stuff, which is interesting because this also pertains to the Jesus story. I even wrote that at the top here. Okay. The gender for Lisin is initially female, later translated to be male. So she was originally female, and then they changed her to male. She's a Mesopotamian deity, initially regarded as a goddess and addressed as Amma, mother, who later came to be regarded as a god and developed an association with fire. The name was also associated with Nabu. We'll go into Nabu later, I think, but Lisin's spouse was Ninsikala, whose gender also changed between periods. It was believed they had 8 children together. The initial cult center of Lisin is uncertain, with locations such as Adab and Kesh. She's attested in the text from various cities, including Umma, Lagash, Nippur, and Mataran. Only one single literary text focused on Lisin is known, a lament in which she mourns the death of one of her sons, for which she blames her mother, Ninhursag. Both female and male versions of Lisan also appears in other similar texts. Gender initially female, then male. Her mourning her son, like there's one text of Lisin known, and it's her mourning the death of her son. What does that remind you of? The Jesus story. Mary, Mother Mary, mourning the death of her son, Yeshua. And a Jesus commercial came in, played on the TV when I was writing all this down. And then there was also a Mountain Dew Baja Blast commercial having to do with dragons.
Getting abducted by aliens? Having a blast.
The first time ever, scientists are unveiling a 240 million year old dragon in its entirety. The National Museums of Scotland announced on Friday. 5-meter-long reptile from the Triassic period was first identified in China in 2003, but newly discovered fossils allowed the international team to depict the entire creature.
Okay, so I'll try to find these commercials and insert them while I'm reading this, because it's really interesting. There's more about Lisin here. This might tie in some synchronicities, and it all coincides with Antares, okay? In various esoteric texts, an association between Lisin and fire burning developed. A text refers to the weapon name expedition by Al-Sadar. Living Stone includes an invented Akkadian etymology of Lisin's name. So Lisin's name, according to this Akkadian etymology, is he who burns with fire, or he who burns on an offering, or to burn fire. A third explanation is the handsome one, or the burning one. According to Makan Geller and Abdul Hall, incantation in which Lisin in this text, goddess appears when ingredients needed for the ritual are cooked. Another reference to fire. Another text assigns white flumes to Lisin. So here we have fire, red, and white fumes, smoke or white, okay? Red and white already so far. I want you to take note of that. In Mesopotamian astronomy, the name of Lisin was the designation of the star known today as a scorpion, Scorpionus, or also known as Antares. First references to it are known from the text from the first millennium BCE, aka she is the breast of the scorpion. Gabriela Spada argues that Lisin herself was at some point associated with scorpions. And so is Isis. Like if you look into the mythology of Isis, she was as well. And there's a painting in the book The Expected One by Kathleen McGowan, where there's a painting by a famous painter where he's depicted Mary Magdalene as well with a scorpion. And it also shows up in a time clock sundial in that book having to do, there's some reference with Scorpius and Sagittarius, I believe as well, which would be an Antares placement within the birth chart. I just realized I need to go back and verify that though. And if I do, and if that's correct, I will insert it here. And confirm either way. Because I've been trying to figure this the fuck out, and I think I just did. Excuse my French. 2221 just now on my clock, that 122 reference. Holy shit. Okay, hold on. First references to it are known for the text from the first millennium BCE. She is the breast of the scorpion. Gabriela Spada argues that Lisin herself was at some point associated with scorpions. The Compendium Malapen states, the praying to the star Lisin, when it was first visible in the sky, could secure good luck as long as all members of the petitioner's household were woken up to partake. So as long as they were awake to partake in this, praying to the star of Antares and praying to Lisin, the star was known as Lisin back then, when it was visible in the sky, could secure that family good luck as long as they were all awake. Interesting, awake. According to Hermann Hunger, despite the origin of its name, the star was associated also with Nabu, N-A-B-U. Nabu, I'm going over here, is the Babylonian patron god of literacy, the rational arts, the scribes, and wisdom. He is associated with Mercury in Babylonian astronomy. He is the Egyptian equivalent, here we go, of Thoth, also known as Hermes Trismegistus, or also known as Hermes, or also known as Mercury, right? And Norse equivalent would be Odin, and Greek equivalent would be Hermes. So Nabu, who's also known as a reference of the star, the male aspect, is literally Mercury, literally Hermes. Here we go. Etymology for Nabu means announcer or authorized person. It also means prophet. Nabu was identified as the god Marduk. So, Nabu's symbols are a stylus resting on a tablet and also this wedge shape, which kind of looks like that crescent moon, which is also associated with Mercury if you're looking at the glyph of it, and also associated with Isis. Okay? Nabu Aka'a, King Nabonidus, had a royal scepter topped with the Nabu wedge, which is that crescent. His wife was Akkadian goddess Tashmet. He was the inventor of writing. Nabu was the inventor of writing. Nabu inscribed the fates assigned to men, aka scribe Ninurta. As an oracle, he was associated with Mesopotamian moon god Sin. In Babylonian tradition, planet Mercury was connected with Ninurta, as well as Saturn, because in Malapan, Nanuna is consistently identified with Mercury, and is read that Mercury, whose name is Ninurta, travels the same path the moon travels. Nabu wore a horned cap and stood with his hands clasped, an ancient gesture of priesthood. He rode on a winged dragon. Look, he rode on a dragon, a winged dragon. He rode on a winged dragon known as Sarush that originally belonged to his father Marduk. So Sarush was the dragon he rode that was originally belonging to his father Marduk. And Nabu was also identified as the god Marduk, probably because his father's name was Marduk. Interesting, right? Okay, so Nabu was continuously worshipped until the 2nd century when cuneiform became a lost art. Today, in Mandean cosmology, the name for Mercury is Nabu, N-B-U, which is derived from the name Nabu, N-A-B-U. Nabu was also one of the Canaanite and Israelite deities worshipped in Elephantine and Aswan, alongside gods like Yahweh, Nene, Bethel, Anat, and the Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven. I have that written down at the beginning here. Okay, on 8/22, it is the Queen of Heaven. On 8/22, the Queen of Heaven Veneration, the Catholic Church. Anglican Communion, some Lutheran churches, and Eastern Orthodoxy. I wrote, what was Jesus' daughter's name? Sarah. 22. So on 822, the Queen of Heaven is also referenced here as the Virgin Mary, because, guys, I'm connecting things. On 822, the Queenship of Blessed Virgin Mary Memorial. The 20th century saw a great resurgence in devotion to the Mother of God. Several decades prior to that century, on December 8th, 1854, Pope Pius IX declared the dogma of the Immaculate Conception and also celebrated the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the heart of the scorpion, Antares. Guys, I just connected something huge. So 722 celebrates the Feast of Mary Magdalene, and then 822 celebrates the Feast of the Virgin Mary. Literally a month later. Since Our Lady's whole life was a life of her heart, the Immaculate Heart represents her life, her love, herself. From the moment of conception, Mary offered acts of faith, love, praise, adoration, and thanksgiving to the God who created her. Thanksgiving. The wicked. Oh, the Wicked commercial. Trailer. Wizard of Oz. Wicked. They view the West as wicked. Hold that thought. They view the West as wicked because the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Keep this all in mind. Green heart chakra, heart is scorpion, green, wicked. What color is she? Green? What color is Emerald City? Green. Keep this in mind. I think I just connected something huge. I wrote down also on this page to go over, I don't know if it's going to connect anything, but I wrote, what was Jesus' daughter's name? I wrote Sarah. Some wish the ceremony that celebrated the beginning of the alleged marriage of Jesus and Mary Magdalene to be considered as a holy wedding, and Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and their alleged daughter, Sarah, to be considered as a holy family in order to question traditional gender roles and family values. Wow. Okay. Uncovered a manuscript. Okay, so how many children did Mary Magdalene have? I say 3 because there, according to a lot of research, there was the daughter Sarah and then 2 boys. I don't remember their names. If I come across that page, I'll try to insert it. If I can't, I'm so sorry. But there's going to be more here that connects, okay? That connects. According to a story from the Christian Science magazine, authors of the book The Lost Gospel say they have uncovered a manuscript that details the marriage between Jesus and Mary Magdalene that produced 2 children here, sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh is Manasseh, and Ephraim, Ephraim, are the 2 sons, but Sarah is the daughter here. So Sarah's missing, maybe in order to protect her. Just saying. But when I saw that Queen of Heaven, where did I see that? Upon researching Antares. It all connects. Nabu was also one of the Canaanite and Israelite deities worshipped in Elephantine and Aswan alongside gods like Yahweh, Nene, Bethel, Anat, and the Queen of Heaven. Queen of Heaven was a god then. And Queen of Heaven is also referenced as Mother Mary. Interesting. In Hellenistic time, Nabu was sometimes identified with Apollo as giver of prophecies, as the god of wisdom. There's that Sophia, wisdom. And Sophia's also with the dragon, right? Yaldabaoth, I believe. Apollo as the giver of prophecies, as the god of wisdom, and a divine messenger like Mercury. Nabu was liked with Greek god Hermes, Roman god Mercury. So according to Greek, the god was Hermes. According to the Romans, the god was Mercury, but they're all one and the same. And according to Egypt, the god was Thoth. Okay? And according to Norse, the god was Odin. They're like referenced here parallelly and connecting also. Okay. I wrote, okay. It's weird because on this page was already written this that I had channeled, the train's going time travel train. I have a portal here. I can't make this shit up. Time travel train. You guys see that? I couldn't even make that up if I wanted to. I had channeled this. There's like a line going up and a portal, and I wrote example 1976 timeline. You can aim anywhere. Your light body can go anywhere and be multi-dimensional places simultaneously because it already is. Okay, let's keep going. This might be all over the place, but this is how I channel, guys. This is how I channel. So Ishhara is also known to be associated with Antares, and Ishhara is a scorpion goddess. She was a goddess originally worshipped in Ebia. Not to be confused with Ishtar. Ishhara is different, and they'll explain that here. But she's also referenced with Dagon, which also would be like the fish guy, Dagon, and also sounds like dragon to me also, doesn't it? Scorpions, dragons, queens of heaven. Okay. Ishhara, the scorpion goddess, was a goddess originally worshipped in Ebla and other nearby settlements in the north modern Syria in the 3rd millennium BCE. In Ebla, she was considered the tutelary goddess of the royal family. She was associated with love, just like Mother Mary, the goddess of marriage, and connected to erotic love that was also linked to oaths. So this is huge because, and divination. She was linked to oaths, and divination. Think about this. Dorothy. Break her name down. Dor, D-O-O-R, oath, O-A-T-H-Y, Dor, oath, E. Dor, oath, E. Dor, oath, key. Dor, oath, key. The oath between the door and the key. Like Uriel. Like Ishhara. Like Nabu. Like Lisin. Like Mother Mary, the Queen of Heaven. She's linked to oaths. Okay. She was associated with reptiles, especially Basmu, which was a snake, and Halmizu, and later on with scorpions as well. Here we go. So she was associated with reptiles, especially Basmu, who was a snake, and Halmizu. Basmu, I'm sorry. Yeah, and Halmizu, who might have been the snake here. I'm going to research this also, but I wrote down snake because I clicked on it and it said it was a snake. And later on with scorpions as well. In certain periods, she was only ever represented through her scorpion symbol. So she was originally the snake. Who does Mother Mary stand on? Like her statue? Her statue, I've seen it. She's standing on a snake. What is that? Oh, there's so much here, okay? So later on, it turned into a scorpion symbol. Okay, so she was considered to be an unmarried and childless goddess who was also supposed to be unmarried or immaculate conceived, Mother Mary. In Ebla, Euphrates, and Mesopotamia, she was closely connected with Ishtar due to their similar character, though they were not regarded as identical, just similar. Okay, interesting. The third time, Mesopotamians associated her with Dagon due to them both being imported to from the west. From the west. She was also linked to Ninkarak. In human tradition, she was associated with Allani. Ishhara's name connected to dawn. And so the time of day would be dawn, the rising of the sun. and barley and grain. She was referred to as the Lady of Love. Ishhara was the prophetesses. Ishhara of the prophetesses. She was strongly associated with divination and prophecy. On this other page, interestingly enough, I channeled this like quantum timeline shifting chart with 1, 2, 3, 4 angel number. Brought into your awareness is a prompt you see forth beforehand to let the parallel reality shift, to recognize that the shift has occurred. Why I wrote that down, I have no idea. It also has dimensions within dimensions here, past lives, acknowledgements, and transitionings, I wrote. In Old Divination Compendium, the omen corresponding jointly to her and Hizamitum, so to Ishhara and Hizamitum, her husband, would be the prophecy in an Old Divination Compendium. The prophecy and the omen, the prophecy jointly to her and her husband, was a red spot below the right armpit. So weird, you guys. I swear to God, a few days before I wrote this down, I was washing in the shower and I noticed a red spot in my armpit. Literally, I can't make this shit up. And I'm not saying that that means anything. I think it was just like spirit showing me, like, you're going to be researching this. A red spot below the right armpit. Keep that in mind. Ishhara was also invoked as the guardian of oaths, queen of the oaths. Again, Dorothy. She was believed to punish oath breakers by inflicting them with a disease, inflicting them with the Ishhara illness. The term, the hand of Ishhara, if offered offerings, Ishhara could serve as a healing goddess. And in Hurrian context, Ishhara developed an association with the underworld. She's a warrior goddess. So is the scorpion. So is Antares. She's a warrior goddess and received weapons as offerings. She was a warrior goddess associated with axes. Axes like the axe. AKA Lady of the Dwellings. Ishhara was definitely linked to justice. Also linked with cannabis known as the herb of Ishhara. Associated with snakes and the chameleon. Moon gods were associated with Ishhara in Hurro-Hittite oath formulas. She was frequently linked into the Hurrian moon god Kusun, also known as Umbu, and his spouse Nikal, due to their shared role of protectors of oaths. So there's like this reference to the moon also, and the protectors of oaths. Allani is the goddess of the underworld. Allani is in reference to Antares and Scorpius. She's the goddess of the underworld. There's a face of the Cheshire cat on my table, left from my coffee or something that I was eating. As I was writing this, I saw it in the reflection. If I can find that picture, I'll insert it here. There's something with that. Like I saw yesterday on the red balloon post. Very interesting. Red again. Asakeda, light language, data key. So I got Asakeda, data key, la data. I also saw a seahorse on the table. I asked, is this related to scorpions? I'm really not sure. It's interesting how their exterior looks very similar. And then when I was researching that, there was like an ancient scorpion article about how scorpions actually developed underwater and then developed into land animals or insects, or yeah. So the underworld, the water, and then coming up on land. It's just interesting stuff. And seahorses. So there's that reference to the water again. I got a channeled song, Hey Jupiter by Tori Amos. I also got the message Dragons of Jupiter, which I need to research. And then the band Imagine Dragons. And then I got Imaging from Imagine Dragons, which took me to Imogen Heap, heap, H-E-A-P, where are we, what the hell is going on? Look into the lyrics. The first thing on the feed is CERN. What do CERN stand for? What does CERN stand for? I need to research that too. Like what CERN stands for. 2:15:24 to 11:08 a.m. watching the music video Imogen Heap. Where are we? So yeah, there's something there. Allani, aka Alatu, is the Akkadian name, or Alatam, was the Hurrian goddess of the underworld. She was also associated with the determination of fate. She was closely linked with Ishhara, and they could be invoked or receive offerings together. She also developed connections with other underworld deities from neighboring cultures. She has Mesopotamian, Ereshkigal, who eventually came to be equated with her, Anatolian sun goddess of the earth, Lelwani, and is possibly Ugaritic Arse. She is attested in texts from sites such as Tiguani, Tatu, and Ugarit. She was also incorporated into the Mesopotamian pantheon, and she was venerated in Nippur, and Sippar. Hittite sources mentioning her are also known too. Allani, queen of the underworld. So it's interesting how we have such a drastic contrast with one being known as the queen of heaven and one being known as the queen of the underworld. Nabu, also known as Ishhara's queen of heaven. Allani, also associated worship with Ishhara at the same time, is known as the queen of the underworld. So it's interesting how they combine the two. Okay, so Appellants in the dark earth, Hurrian underworld. Name meaning the great Allani, aka Alatam. They think the name originally developed in Syria and from there reached Mesopotamia. In Amar, an ancient city in Syria, both forms were used. According to text, she rested in a palace at the gate of the dark earth, the land of the dead, titled as the Bolt of the Earth, and young woman. Bolt makes me think of like bolt of a lock and bolt, or also lightning bolt. And young woman with a youthful appearance. She was believed to wear a blue garment. So it's interesting how red is associated with Ishhara and blue is associated with Allani. And then in my book, the expected one that I was referring to with the Mary Magdalene and the scorpion and all of that, there's a mention of the blue garment being worn and the red garment being worn. So see how these are like also coming from these ancient gods and goddesses. The color presumably being associated with death. So they associated blue with death, and I'm guessing they associated red with life. But we'll get to that when I go over the Bindi and other things. So one single text referring to her references her having a daughter. So one single text references her having a daughter, Hippat, and it is possible. Shalash was considered her mother. Allani was often invoked alongside Ishhara to protect a household from demonic forces. Allani and Ishhara, one blue garment, the other red. Yeah, here it is. One blue garment, the other red. Veneration of them as a pair was an example of a broader phenomenon in Hurrian sources. The worship of pairs of deities was similar purposes, as if they constituted a unity. Interesting, right? Light and dark combined together. That black and white checkerboard there. They could receive a single offering jointly. Urkaila, the divine determinative, and treated as a theonym. This word is best attested as a name of the underworld. In literacy texts, it might be represented an Akkadian rendering of Sumerian Urigal, Erigal, which equals a great city. Makes me think of like the Emerald City, right? Similarly, designating the land of the dead. The name Alatum, and it's interesting how Dorothy goes over the Rainbow Bridge to this great city of the Emerald City, like where she's kind of there etherically, but still down on Earth in this black and white. Okay, so interesting. So could the Emerald City be referencing the land of the dead, or the things that are not known to exist to the human mind yet? Perhaps. The name Alatum also designates Ereshkigal and an incantation dedicated to the medicine goddess Gula. It credits the latter with helping a child patient whose skull sutures were loosened by Alatum and had to be sealed up again. The short narrative also mentions Sin, also known as the moon, but it is not clear how the three deities involved were connected with each other. So here we have this mention of the three deities, the underworld, the Ishhara, queen of heaven, and then also the moon. And they're referenced here together, which is really interesting, okay? Allani, known as the sun goddess of the earth. It's interesting how Allani is known as the sun goddess. It's interesting. They're combining like a lot of polaric properties here as I'm reading this and understanding and comprehending it all. Allani, known as the sun goddess of the earth, regarded to preside over ritual purification and believed to keep evil and impurity sealed in her kingdom. Allani appears in offerings Allani appears in offering Lus, Kaluti, focused on Hapat, which would be her daughter. Yeah, Hapat, her daughter, in which she is typically placed after Ishhara. So Allani appears in offering focused on Hapat, in which she is typically placed after Ishhara. So it's this offering to her daughter, but Ishhara is placed first and then Allani, which is interesting. Is Ishhara her mother? Technically, I don't know. Because why would Ishhara be placed first? It's very flipped backwards. Like if I'm thinking of it linearly, and Ishhara being on the left would reference that sun setting in the west, and then Allani being the sun goddess rising in the east. But Allani is also the underworld, which you would think would be on the left because they viewed the left or the west as evil and the east as good. And see how they're being referenced as the same, which is a very odd thought that I'm trying to assimilate and understand here. A similar enumeration of deities with Allani, also placed after Ishhara, is attested in the ritual Aminatha from Kazuana. I'm not good at pronouncing these words. Okay. It's interesting, I wrote down here before writing all this down, I had gifts. I had your side and his side, and under 1717 just now on the clock, 88. His side has all this under here. So weird. Okay. And I didn't plan that. That's just how, okay. Theophonic names evoking her were commonly chiefly in the Tur Abdin area located in the southeast of modern Turkey. A single text, corpus from Tutal, Agrip Allani, Allani gave a child, is what it means. Allani was also among the Hurrian deities worshipped in Ugar. Hurrian lists from this city reflect the customs from the 13th, again, number 13th century BCE, and show an occasionally incorporation of Ugaritic deities like 11, Stranger Things, Remember, she also combines the darkness into the material world as well, but she also reflects the light while she's here. she's showing herself as a compassionate, loving being, but also has a dark side reflected within the underworld where she combines the portal of the material and the etheric. It's interesting. So like El and Anat in Tahurian ceremony, she is mentioned in a list of deities who received offerings during it, after Ishhara, and before Nikal. In a ritual taking place over the course of 3 days, reminds me of that Jesus, right? 3 days focused on Pidre, she is listed as the recipient of sacrificial cows on the 2nd day and 2 rams on the 3rd. Offering lists where she appears between Ishhara and Hutilara are also known too. Allani was one of the foreign deities worshipped in Ur. During the 7th day of the festival of Inanna is in reference to Ishtar. But during the 7th day of festival of Inanna, which took place annually during the 6th month of local calendar year, she also received offerings alongside Idalugru, a god who represented river ordeal. Okay, interesting. And then there was this really weird transcripted message, which I'll have to go over another time because we already got so much. There was this I found this interesting. There was this old Babylonian bird omen compendium. It was a divination manual explaining how to interpret the signs of the carcass of a sacrificial bird. It identifies one possible location of an ominous red spot as a portent of Alatum. It has been noted that the section in which she appears seems to focus on deities chiefly worshipped in Western areas such as Adad and Ishhara and their respective circles. So there's that red spot again. Alatum, Antares, birds, divination, the West, worshipped in the West, such as Adad and Ishhara, and their respective circles. It's interesting because when my friend Tanner had sent me that music video and stuff, we have Ribbon Road, 2/3, Mirror, Castle, Blue and White, Jesus hand sign, Red Shoes, Books, Red Shoes, Arthur, White Rabbit, Green Ball, Alien, 1701 Barcode, Elwood, Map, Astronaut, Underwater, Ishtar, Library. This is like before I had gotten all this. Broom sweeping itself and big presents, purple and gold. Higher vibrational fates, blood states, subtle energy flows. Yeah, this is just weird. Pryonic gateway, smoothing agent. This was Tanner's vid, that extra side dimensions. So this was from his video. I wrote down the symbologies that I found. And it's interesting how it ties into like these messages that I came across that I'm reading now. These messages too. Here they say lots of dragons, Magnolia, Senna Medusa, Magnolia flower, multidimensional consciousness, exploring multidimensional realms of ourselves, Eve equals precipice, learning how to create new doorways and consciousness. And then I have the compass written here. Explore all directions. Don't be afraid to expand. The fun in exploring all of it. And dragon equals mermaid energy, fire and water, red and blue. Okay, so red, Ishhara, east, fire, blue, west, the land of the dead, water, underworld, scorpion, starts in blue, goes to higher ascension, red, and the compass came up here, and I will go over that here in a minute, but I channeled all this a long time ago, and I'm just really intrigued. Look, and I also have written down here, this is how I channel. I'm very all over the place, but it all makes sense in the end. The spiritual realm, doorways, portals, a hallway of mirrors, the different realms that we are invited into as mediums, contrast, illusions, and self-reflection. The more you challenge yourself, the faster you reach the destination. But you can challenge easily and effortlessly. The period of time is a time that was predicted a long time ago. The further we go deeper, the higher we go in consciousness. Example, changing your programming and perspective. All right. I want to show you that Nikola Tesla numerology and why I see it as an 83 here. In accordance to the cipher in gematria of Nikola Tesla's name, pertaining to the letters in the cipher, if you add 14, 9, 11, 15, 12, and 1, and look how we have 9, 11 in the centerfold at I and K, which is my birth time backwards. We have 14 plus 9 plus 11 plus 15 plus 12 plus 1 equals 62. 6 plus 2 equals 8. We have 20 over here under Tesla, plus 5 plus 19 plus 12 plus 1 equals 57. 5 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. We have 83. What is 8 plus 3? 11, which pertains to the letter K. Okay, so we're going to continue on. So, Antares and the compass. Okay, so we're going to go over Antares, the compass, and a few other things here. Okay, so there's 4 royal stars which make this compass. The 4 royal stars are Aldebaran, Regulus, Antares, and Fomalhaut. Regulus is the north, and it's Archangel Raphael, Watcher of the North, element air, and it's the green ray. It's in the constellation of Leo, which is represented as the lion, and it shows during the summer equinox. Then we'll go over Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the east, okay? Star Aldebaran is Archangel Michael, Watcher of the East, the blue ray, and it is in the constellation Taurus, which is the bull, and it's shown during the vernal equinox. And then the south is Fomalhaut. Okay, and Fomalhaut is guarded by Archangel Gabriel. It's the Watcher of the South. The element is fire, and that's the white/silver ray. It's in the constellation of Piscis Austrinus, which is represented as the fish, not to be confused with Pisces, and that is during the winter solstice. And then we have Antares, and that's guarded by Archangel Uriel, the Watcher of the West. And the element is water. It is the golden ray. And it also is in the constellation of Scorpio. So it's the scorpion, represented by the scorpion. It's seen during the autumnal equinox. And it's also representative of the phoenix, the double-headed eagle, butterflies, dragons, and lions. Antares is the midway station, so it's also known as like a bridge. Yellow Brick Road, aka the bridge, aka the Rainbow Bridge, aka the Rainbow, or the midway station. So it's the midway station. And I also feel like it's a train station. I feel like it's a train station intuitively, because I kept getting, I always get the train, but I feel like there's multi-dimensional trains that go in between dimensions that are like there to time travel and also like quantum leap.
Sorry, George. I'm only joking. I am Fred. Excuse me. Could you tell me how to get onto the platform? Not to worry, dear. It's Ron's first time to Hogwarts as well. Now all you've got to do is walk straight up the wall between platforms 9 and 10. Let's do it at a bit of a run if you're nervous. Good luck.
dimension hop. And because it's known as the Midway Station, I obviously feel like it's the grand central station of all the stars. They say it allows Andromeda to come in, and a lot of Andromedan influences. It also is there for death and rebirth. And since it correlates so much within the mythology with the moon and death and rebirth that way, with the phases of the moon and how like Mercury and Hermes goes along with the phases of the moon, which I'll get into here in a little bit, but it's more than just Andromedan starseeds that come in through it, representing like death and rebirth of so many starseed souls here. I feel like a lot more starseeds come through this Midway Station, and the Arcturians assist with this, with their healing abilities and their ability to help souls cross over during the death process, the birth process. And so I feel like the Arcturians definitely help along with the Antares Starseeds with this Midway Station for Antares. So yeah, very cool stuff. Then I wanted to go over this chart here. So this is Antares. Antares guards the west, and it made me think of Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch of the West, right? And green, representing the heart chakra. And Antares is what? The heart of the scorpion. The heart chakra is green. And so green is also Emerald City. So if you could see that contrast, which with green being the Wicked Witch of the West, but also Emerald City. So the light, the dark and the light and the dark, right? And green, the heart is at the conjoiningness of that. And so like, will you allow your heart to be wicked? Hence the Wicked trailer.
Folks, together is to give them.
You're green.
I am.
Or will you allow your heart to discover its own power that it held all along? That Dorothy discovers at the end. Okay, so if the sun is reason for good and evil, light and darkness, it's the mediator between the east and the west, hence the yellow brick road. So it's interesting how there's like the moon and then there's the sun, and it feels like the sun is, you know, being represented through this mythology a lot. And so it makes sense that it's the mediator between the East and the West, because that's how they described like good and evil back in the old times. They said the East was good because that's where the sun rises, and the West was evil because that's where they saw the sun die, technically the sun set. So if the sun is the mediator between the East and the West, hence that would be the yellow brick road, the golden ray of Antares. It's that midway station of duality, pretty much. And I drew it here as an example, the Wicked Witch of the West, who's also green, and Oz, that's dualistic of that wickedness. That's also emerald, it's green, and that's in the east. And then the mediator between the two is the sun, or the golden ray of Antares, or the yellow brick road. It also looks like the snake, and the snake is like the apple, or knowledge, or wisdom, such as Sophia. Snake being represented by the dragon, or Yaldabaoth of Sophia. So we have the dark here and the light here, and then the yellow brick road would represent neutrality in the center, or aka the rainbow bridge. So the yellow brick road or the rainbow bridge, and it's how the heart connects to all the chakras here. And yeah, so the Egyptians viewed the West as evil because the sun would rise in the east and set in the west. They also viewed that's where the underworld resided, was in the west. Okay, so it's interesting. Midway between the underworld, the heaven. So Midway Station, Antares Midway Station, the middle point between the west represented by the underworld and the east represented by heaven. And we have the Wicked Witch of the West, evil, and Emerald City, east, of good. Okay, and then the Yellow Brick Road is the conjoining of that, the midway station, Antares. Okay, and it's interesting in the mythology also is like these goddesses were represented as snakes first, and then it translated into scorpions, and the Yellow Brick Road literally looks like a yellow snake, and Antares is the golden ray, yellow. So makes sense to me. The Wizard of Oz also, like the head of Wizard of Oz, that, you know, that big scary head of the wizard that he portrays himself to be, where he's actually hiding behind the curtain and everyone's so scared of him, looks like an alien head, right? It looks like, and it's deemed as scary until they see through the veil to the truth of the man behind the curtain. So the ones that are actually ET aren't scary. Okay, it's just perceived that way, or it's used as a scare tactic by darker beings. Okay. To scare you away from the truth. Also, so the other side of the rainbow is gray. Okay, I wanted to notate that because I recently saw a post about the black rainbow that Mr. BBBB333 posted, and
in between both of them, it's dark. It's totally different. I've never in my life seen a rainbow like that.
The other side of the rainbow is gray. And, you know, I went over that whole video, my Oz series, you want to watch if you haven't, because it connects a lot more previous to this and having to do with all this and the Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd and connecting in with the rainbow. So, and that's also like representative of only seeing black and white, like black and white dualistic thinking of the 3D and needing to see the gray or the in-between to get to the world of color. Okay, because if you're in this dualistic mindset and you're not able to see that middle field that is representative of Antares, that midway station, that middle field would be the gray, the blending of the two. The blending of the black and white equals gray, the neutrality. And then once you do that, you are basically admitted as a rite of passage into this whole new world of color that you never could have imagined before, unless you perceive that way. Okay, and what's interesting is also having to do with the green chakra, the heart chakra. The heart has a brain, the scarecrow. The heart has courage, the lion. The heart has a clock, also represented by the Tin Man. Leaving the mind for things that don't necessarily make sense, and trusting the heart by realizing it may have more power than the mind is perceived to have. Toto equals to go to the Emerald City. Toto is kind of representative of Antares. It's that midway. Let's go here, let's go there. Well, how do you go? You have to perceive, you have to believe, you have to know. Right? To see through the illusion of black and white thinking, you'll discover a whole other world of new colors. Horse of a different color is an Arcturus reference because horses are from the constellation of Arcturus. Okay? Going to the Emerald City to acquire what was already there, what you already had. You're acquiring what you already had acquired. You just had to be self-actualized, realized, and aware that you had it all along. Like Dorothy, you held the power all along at the end. And so they had to realize it for themselves to be able to acquire that for themselves. So you have to realize that your heart has a brain, your heart has courage, your heart has a clock, and your heart has more awareness than your mind even has. But in order to allow that to occur, you have to like put aside the mind and allow the heart to lead. Okay? Wow. So, right? I love it. Dorothy is Door, Oath, E. It's Ishhara. It's the Queen of Oaths because door, oath, key. And Uriel holding the key to that door. Okay. And connecting them. Arcturians work as intermediaries with the process of life and death within the Antares Midway Station, within the Scorpius or Scorpion constellation. Scorpio. Conducive to frequencies, body etheric and soul energies. So the Arcturians are very like conducive to frequencies, body, and etheric soul energies, and they help as intermediaries within the process of life and death within that Antares midway station. They know the mechanics of the rainbow and the light body, which is your Merkaba, which is your light ship, which is personal to you. It's like your soul. Your light body is like your soul, and it can traverse throughout anywhere because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, aka the soul, and are able to merge with. So they know the mechanics of both like the body, etheric, and soul energies. They know the mechanics of the rainbow light body, aka the soul, and they're able to merge the two within the rainbow bridge. The rainbow bridge being representative of Over the Rainbow, Wizard of Oz, but also the Antares midway station. Arcturians work well with death and the death process. They are able to help with the mechanics of the soul leaving the body from the lower density 3D realm, which is Earth, where it cannot be bound. Energy cannot be bound. It is everywhere. And I said example in video. So there must be a video that I had downloaded somewhere, which if I come across it, I will upload it here. If not, I apologize. Antares is tied to goddesses of the underworld. You are able to transmute. This is why it's your divine alchemy. It's also that Sextans energy and Pegasian energy. Sextans constellation is the instrument that they use, the sextant instrument used to observe the constellations and find them and name them in the first place. But it's also Sextans, the constellation Sextans holds the largest black hole out of all the constellations. On the other side of that black hole would be a quasar, which would be a light hole. So we have the black and the white, again, that duality and the neutrality of being able to transmute both forces and work with them. And Pegasus is the same thing. It contains that white and black, the dualistic nature, and being able to work with both energies and also combine them into the gray if you wanted to, okay? So that's your divine alchemy that you can work with, okay? And interestingly enough, my south node is Scorpius, which means I have mastered Scorpio already. So your north node is kind of like what you're working towards or what you're conquering this lifetime. Your south node would be representative of what you've already mastered. And my south node is Scorpius or Scorpio, which means I've already mastered Scorpio. So I've mastered this midway portal stuff, which makes sense that my birthday is on, accordance to the Mayan kin or the Mayan calendar, it's on a galactic activation portal day, and it says that I am a galactic activation portal, enter me. So that makes so much sense. It's literally a portal, and I've mastered that portal with Antares and Scorpio. It makes sense with my south node being Scorpio. I've mastered it. Very cool stuff. And I wrote here again, Sextans is black holes and quasars, light holes. You're able to transmute the darkest of energies in the cosmos, since Sextans constellation holds the largest black hole in it. Pegasus is representative of the checkerboard, which would be white to black or white and black, and that's also known as duality and polarity. You are able to merge the two densities, the two polaric forces, the light and the dark, because of your cosmic nature. The colors black, white, and red are very significant. There is no separation between any of the realms, and this is the new understanding we as a collective are remembering. There's no separation between any realm, whether it be 3D or higher density. There's no separation. Everything is happening simultaneously. There's no separation between any of them, and this is the new understanding we as a collective are remembering now. It's saying everyone is a medium, an interpretary energy between realms, veils, dimensions, and a temporary 3D human avatar. You interpret based upon incarnational and outside incarnational experiences. The snake spiral energy would be that of the Ouroboros. It's the snake in a circle. It is your infinite Kundalini life force energy, the snake, your soul's infinite awareness. Antares is the brightest star in Scorpio, known as the heart of the scorpion, the Arcturian connection as well. Antares is a red supergiant binary star, which means it's two stars in one, but upon looking at it, it looks like one star, but technically it's two. Scorpio A and Scorpio B combined in one star, which is Antares, the red supergiant star, the supergiant binary star. Uriel's Hermes and the Caduceus and the number 11. Hermes, aka Mercury, holds the Caduceus, and is tied into Antares as well. Antares appears to be one single star, but is a binary star system, one red dot, a double star. What do you see when you stare at the sun outside during meditation? So when I'm sitting and meditating in the sun with my eyes closed, in my third eye or my two eyes, with them being closed, I see a bright red dot with my two eyes closed, one red dot. So it could also be representative of the sun. It also makes me think of the people of India, the one red dot placed upon the third eye, which is where you kind of see the sun when you close your eyes and you're meditating in the sun. And so that one red dot would be called the Bindi or the Bindu in India, and we'll go over that too. We have the prophecy of the red dot under her armpit, symbolizing her return. And I had written, why is this under her armpit? Why is it a red dot under the right armpit? Is this symbolizing the sun rising in the east under something because armpit? Would it be representative of the cave because dwelling? You know, and that was referenced in the mythology. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to research this more and let you know. But this is what I got so far. So the prophecy of the red dot under her right armpit symbolizing her return. Ishhara. In an old divination compendium, the omen corresponding to her and his mitam was a red spot below the right armpit. East equals the red shoes to the Emerald City East. I put Ishhara was invoked as the guardian of oaths, queen of the oaths, which is also Dorothy, Door Oath E, Door Oath Key, Dorothy and Oz, yellow brick roads traveled by Hermes in between the land of mortal Kansas and afterlife Oz. So I'm going to go over Hermes here in a minute, but he was also the traveler, and he could travel throughout different dimensions and times. And if you think about Dorothy, she started in Kansas, which is the mortal realm, which would be 3D Earth. And then she ends up in Oz, or the Emerald City, Oz, the afterlife, after she goes over the Rainbow Bridge, right? So she's black and white to color. Black and white, mortal, land of the mortals, to color, which would be the land of the etheric ones, which would be the land technically of the dead or those who have gone to heaven, okay? The star forming this week is, oh, this was huge. So when I was doing all this research, which was like 5 days prior to me discovering this, there was an article that popped up on my Google, which showed a massive star forming that week in the Scorpio constellation near Antares, which is mind-blowing. So I was literally doing the research, and upon researching it, it literally showed that a new star was forming, a birth. It's so representative of what Antares stands for, that midway station of both death and birth, death and rebirth, the phoenix. And as I'm researching it, there's a new star forming, a birth. And so I was like totally blown away. I'm predicting stars and prophesizing stars before they even form. And so that blew my mind. It just goes to show how powerful the mind actually is, which if you watch the numerology section, you already know that was so representative of that. So cool. And I'll insert the article I saw. It was like 4 to 5 days after researching this topic of Antares. So cool. Yeah, 5 days before that article was published on Google. I have proof of this on my phone, and I uploaded it as a short already to my YouTube and my TikTok, so you might have already seen it. You might have already seen it, but if not, I'll insert it here. Yep, predicting the stars before they form, prophetic. We're making ways for new energies to emerge and give birth into the cosmos, just like what Antares represents, death and birth and death and rebirth. Very cool. Yeah, the joiner of the two realms, which is the midway station Antares. Okay. Lisin's name is he or she who burns with fire. Another text text assigns white fumes to Lisin. So the colors here are red and white. And Lisin also looks like Isis and sounds like Lisin. Lisin is also Ishhara. Lisin is to Nabu, is to Mercury, is to Odin, is to Hermes. Uranus is a celestial dragon, and Hermes' dad is Uranus. So Hermes' dad is technically a dragon, and Nabu is the announcer or prophet, similar to Hermes. And the dragon is similar to Dagon. Look into this, they sound familiar. And Dagon would be that fish god, okay? In the Hall of Mirrors reading, it says 444 is 13, 13, 13, because 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3 is 444. And 777 is 16, 16, 16, because 1 plus 6, 1 plus 6, 1 plus 6 is 777. These are Ramanujan numbers. They also call them Winchester numbers because they're pertaining to the Winchester Mansion. They're striking, the Ramanujan numbers are a striking resemblance to Winchester numbers here. Okay. So according to the ladder, July 11th is Uriel's feast day, which is 7/11. Again, Hall of Mirrors reading. One of Antares' numerology discovered within calculations. Okay, so Uriel's feast day is 7/11, which we already saw the 117 and the 7/11 in Antares' numerology. It's in the 16th century. Uriel appeared, 16 again. Uriel appeared to the Sicilian friar Antonio Loduca and told him to build a church in the Termini area. Loduca told Pope Pius IV about the apparition. The Pope then asked Michelangelo to design the church, which became the Basilica of St. Mary of the Angels and of the Martyrs, located at the Esedra Plaza. Isn't that crazy? So there's that 16 again, and having to do with Uriel, having to do with the Basilica, which is like basilisk. Basilica, they think, was another like translation of basilisk, which represents snake, and it's St. Mary. St. Mary, again, Mary, again. In the first half of the 11th century, there's that 11 again, Bulgarian followers of dualist heresy called Bogomilism invoked Uriel in rituals. So they invoked, or they called upon Uriels in rituals in the 11th century. In Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's Golden Legend, Uriel is one of the angels of the 7 planets, namely of Mars. And Ares is the rival to Mars, and Ares is associated with Antares. And because they're both red dots, that's how they differentiated the two. Mars was the red planet, Antares the red star, okay? And Uriel, which is Mars, one red dot, again. The Book of Watchers as a whole tells us that Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel were present before God to testify on behalf of humankind. They asked the divine intervention during the reign of fallen Gregory, or fallen watchers. These fallen ones took human wives and produced half angel, half human offspring called the Nephilim, which were these giants. Uriel is responsible for warning Noah about the upcoming great flood. Uriel's name is commonly spelled Uriel, A-U-R-I-E-L. He is regarded as the archangel of the north and the element of earth. He wears robes of citrine, russet, olive, and black. His name is translated into Latin, meaning the Lord is my light. He gave people alchemical knowledge, similar to Hermes and Mercury. Uriel drives out all evil and wicked thoughts. And what is the goddess that drives out all evil? Allani, associated with Ishhara. It drives out demonic forces within the home, right? And according to that mythology. In the book of Enoch, chapter IX, the book of the Watchers, only 4 angels are mentioned by name. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, 4 fixed stars. Uriel representing Antares. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. Tartarus, representative of the underworld. Often identified as a cherub, an angel of repentance. He holds the key to the pit during the end times. He holds the key. Door, oath, key. Door, oath, key. See the similarities? The Queen of Oaths. If you break the oaths, you get punished. And who holds the key? Uriel. Presider over Tartarus, aka Hell. Archangel of, aka the underworld. Here we go. Archangel of Salvation. He carries a book or scroll representing wisdom, also known as Sophia and the dragon, right? Uriel is a patron of the arts. Well, Mary Magdalene is also known as the patron of the arts. In the secret book of John, Uriel is placed in control over demons who help Yaldabaoth create Adam. Yaldabaoth, the giant serpent with a lion's face, aka the dragon that creates Adam. Interesting, right? Uriel shows Enoch how the heavenly luminaries work. In some Greek sources, Tartarus is another name for the underworld, serving as a mononym for Hades, while in others it is a completely distinct realm separate from the underworld. Hesiod most famously describes Tartarus as being as far beneath the underworld as the earth is beneath the sky. Tartarus isn't just a place, he's a person. Tartarus is both a fearsome primordial Greek god as well as the worst, deepest section of Hades, the place. Tartarus was born at the beginning of time and was a powerful force with his sister, Gaia, also known as Earth. He had Typhoeus, or troublesome monster, who would end up locked in the hell his father helped him control. Tartarus was a level below Hades, so it's one level below Hades, supposedly, and was where those who were truly bad, evil, and committed heinous crimes as mortals ended up. He is also where Zeus is banished and the Titans. In Homer's Odyssey from 750 to 700 BC, the underworld, otherwise known as the House of Hades, or Hades after the god who ruled over the dead, was bleak and somber for nearly everyone. Only a handful of mythical figures suffered for eternity, and their wrongdoings were beyond those of the mortals. Tartarus, the infernal regions of ancient Greek mythology, the name was originally used for the deepest region of the world, the lower of the two parts of the underworld. So Tartarus was technically the lower of the two parts of the underworld, below the underworld, where the gods locked up their enemies. Tartarus is a deep abyss that is used as a dungeon of torment and suffering for the wicked, and as the prison for the Titans. Tartarus is described as one of the earliest beings to exist alongside Chaos, Gaia, which is also Earth, and Eros, which is love. Apollodorus describes Tartarus as a gloomy place in Hades, as far distant from Earth as Earth is distant from the sky. Now we're going to go over Hermes. In the Homeric hymn to Hermes, Apollo threatens to throw Hermes into Tartarus. Originally, Tartarus was used to confine dangers to the gods of Olympus and their predecessors. In later mythologies, Tartarus became a space dedicated to the imprisonment and torment of mortals who had sinned against the gods. In Hellenistic Jewish literature, from the Greek text of the Book of Enoch dated 400 to 200 BC, this states that God placed Archangel Uriel in charge of the world and in charge of Tartarus. Verse 20-2. Tartarus is generally understood to be the place where 200 fallen watchers, aka angels, are imprisoned. Reference to the watchers of the Book of Enoch observed in Jude, verse 1-6, where scripture describes angels being bound by chains under everlasting darkness, and 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, which further describes fallen angels committed to chains in Tartarus. In Hypostasis of the Archons, the reality of rulers, quote-unquote, an apocryphal Gnostic treatise dated before 35 AD, Tartarus makes a brief appearance when Zoe, which is life, or Ife, the daughter of Sophia, which is wisdom, casts Yaldabaoth, which is also known as the Demiurge, down to the bottom of the abyss of Tartarus. In the Book of Thomas, Tartarus is claimed by Jesus to be the place where those who hear the word Judas, Thomas, and I'll turn away or sheer are to be sent. These damned will be handed over to the angel or power, Tartarochos, is what it says. Biblical punishment of fallen angels, quote unquote. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to change of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment, that's 2 Peter 2, -4, a Greek Tartarus. Other evangelical commentaries, in reconciling that some fallen angels are chained in Tartarus, yet some are not, attempt to distinguish between one type of fallen angel and another type of fallen angel. All right, we're going to go over the one red dot because this is also significant. The one red dot, the merging of two worlds into one. The conscious awareness of these two worlds are merged into one Antares, the midway station. The merging of the two worlds. The one red dot, the sum. The bindi, signifying all chakras, and the third eye. The bindi is the red dot, which is on Indian people's third eye of their forehead in Hinduism. And the prophecy, it's also, the one red dot is also the prophecy of her return, of Ishhara. Or the scorpion, or the queen of heaven. In Hinduism, the color red represents honor, love, and prosperity. Okay? So that's what it means in Hinduism. It's interesting how the color blue represents death, and then like the color red represents life, and then here in Hinduism, it also, the color red represents honor, love, and prosperity. The bindi is typically worn by women for religious purposes or to indicate that they're married. Worn by Hindu and Jain women, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Jain women is the bindi, a red dot applied between the eyebrows on the forehead. The term bindi stems from the Sanskrit word bindu, which means drop or particle. Bindis are known by many other names: kamkam, sindoor, teep, tikli, batu. However, the meaning behind the ornament, regardless of region or language, remains the same. Around 3000 BC, the Rishi Muni, ancient seers of Hinduism, wrote the Vedas in what they described the existence of areas of concentrated energies called the chakras. 7 main, and the 6th one, which is the brow, which is the third eye chakra, is where the bindi is placed, the one red dot, like Antares. The Mayans painted their face with a red stripe and white dots on the face. Why did the Mayans paint their temples red? What does red mean in Mexican culture? The colors of the Mexican flag are all symbolic. Green represents independence or hope. White stands for purity and unity, all colors of the rainbow. And red stands for the blood of the patriots and other heroes, which would be their ancestors or ancestry. In Sanskrit, Anya translates as command or perceive, and it is considered the eye of intuition and intellect. So that Ajna is the third eye, and it's considered the eye of intuition and intellect. According to the Vedas, when something is seen in the mind's eye or in a dream, it is also seen by Ajna. Thus, the bindi's purpose is to enhance the powers of this chakra, the third eye chakra, specifically by facilitating one's ability to access their inner wisdom, or Sophia, or guru, allowing them to see the world and interpret things in a truthful, unbiased manner, as well as forsake their ego and rid their false labels. Hindu tradition holds that all people have a third inner eye, which would be the pineal gland. The 2 physical eyes are used for seeing the external world, while the third focuses inward towards God, which would be yourself. As such, the red dot signifies piety as well as serving as a constant reminder to keep God at the center of one's thoughts. The third eye inner aspect relates to the axis of intuition. It deals with the visual consciousness, deals with clarity on an intuitive level. The third eye is the center of spiritual energy within the human body, aka Agnya chakra, meaning command center. Train, midway station, command center. The flame seen at the eyebrow is called the Guru Chiyogi. Hindu priests, to mark the foreheads of both men and women, wired powder as they enter a temple. So they utilized this powder as they enter a temple. They wore it. An enlightened person can see the God and his creations via the activated third eye. When the bindi is placed on the spot, our attention is focused inwards towards self-realization of God. The bindi, also known as the tilak, also serves as a reminder of our true purpose on this earth, which is to realize the God and attain moksha. Bindi signifies that the wearer knows that the spot on which the bindi has been placed has a door underneath the bindi, which opens inward and leads to the Creator. This is the spot which is called the third eye, or the seat of wisdom. So it signifies a door behind it. That one red dot signifies the door behind it. And what do we have here with the Queen of Oaths, Ishhara, representative Antares, and door oath key, the door, the oath, the key, the door, the bindi, the door behind the bindi, the oath, the Queen of Oaths, Ishhara, and the key, Uriel. Okay, so it makes sense. The seat of wisdom, the seat of Sophia. Some people wear it as a charm to ward off bad luck or the evil eye. Sri Mata is the first geometrical form. The bindi, a red-colored one, also serves as an auspicious sign of marriage. As the Hindu bride steps over the threshold, the midway point, the threshold of her husband's home, her red bindi is believed to usher in prosperity and grant her a place as the family's newest guardian. In some communities, women may stop donning a bindi after the passing away of their husband. The bindi, what does the bindi symbolize? The third eye. It's the seat of concealed wisdom. The bindi is said to retain energy and strengthen concentration. The ajna, which is the third eye chakra, has 2 lotus petals dedicated to the sun and the other to the moon. And there we go, that's sun and moon again. Representative of the dark and the light, or male and female, merged at the center. Corresponds to the colors violet, indigo, or deep blue. It is traditionally described as white. It is at this point where the 2 sides, Nadi or Ida and Pingala, the 2 snakes, which are on either side of the caduceus, one being black, one being white, okay, dual again, are said to terminate and merge with the central channel, which is the Sashamna, signifying the end of duality. There we go. The characteristic of being dual. Example, light and dark or male and female. It's the end of that, okay? And the seed syllable for this chakra is Om. And the presiding deity is Ardhanharit Ishvara, who is half male and female, Shiva and also Shakti. The Shakti goddess of Ajna is called Hakini. In metaphysics, the Bindu is considered the red dot or point at which creation begins and may become unity. It is also the sacred symbol of the cosmos in its unmanifested state. So it's a symbol of the cosmos that hasn't yet manifested. Bindu is the point around which the mandala is created, representing the universe. The third eye key issues involve balancing the higher and lower selves and trusting inner guidances. Sri Mata, she is represented by a Bindu, the first geometrical form. She took the form of Bindu when she created the creation out of herself. It really reminds me of Sophia, guys. We put this on our Ajna chakra as a prayer to Mother Goddess to awaken our jnana and to protect our Ajna chakra from the influences of others. The Bindu says, I am the child of the cosmic mother, the creatrix, Parameshwari, Sri Rajeshwari, and the Tripundra, the 3 lines of ash. It says, I am a child of the cosmic father, the Adi Purushna, and the Parameshwara Shiva. Red represents Shakti. It is Sri Rahavarhi's mother goddess, in parentheses, favorite color. She is attracted to it. Everyone is attracted to red. When a woman walks into a room with a red dress on, all eyes will be on her. Our blood is colored red because of heme molecule binding to oxygen, which represents prana, or our life force energy. The early morning rays of the sun are reddish orange, also known as saffron. This is the lifeblood and symbol of our culture. Therefore, all Hindus, not just women, wear a bindu on their forehead as a red spot towards the cosmic mother. In the painting of Aryabhata, a mathematician, he is shown wearing bindu and atilaka. For Hindus, geometry is a sacred knowledge. The very idea of geometry comes to us from the earliest sutras, the Salba Sutras, which describe the construct of yajna, mantapas, and yogashalas for doing homas, etc. The bindu represents Om, the sound of the cosmic creation, from which all sound and knowledge originate. Om grants humans discrimination, which is also known as viveka, and wisdom, which is also known as that jnana. Color is raga, as well as it is ranga, the color of the numinous, the spirit, and per ancient sacred Hindu text, present in all humanity and creation. Wearing the bindi means achievement of a metaphysical, mystic union with the infinite, the beyond, and the ever-expanding frontiers of both the universe and the human consciousness. The bindi, technically then, connects two worlds, the meaning of the material transitioning into leading into the etheric, also known as the astral. It's the energy center of all the chakras, where all the chakras meet in both 3D and higher dimensionally, is at that third eye chakra energy center point, where the bindi is placed. So it's like the door to the other side. So amazing. So that's what that one red dot that I was drawn to, and no wonder, because it does merge the two worlds, as does Antares, the midway station, merge the two worlds, the mortal and land of the dead, or land of the living, however you want to look at it. It's actually dual in nature, as it's a dual star, and the land of the dead and the land of the living are like simultaneously one place. But they're, as we describe them here on this plane of duality, they're separate. But once you can merge the two and make the gray of neutrality, you can perceive it a completely different way, as where everything can coexist simultaneously and you have access to all of it. It's up to you, right? The perceiver. Hermes is an Olympian deity in ancient Greek religion and mythology, and is considered the herald of the gods. He is, let me close this, it's so loud. Sorry, guys. He is the herald of the gods. He is the protector of human heralds, trawlers, and thieves, merchants, and orators. He is able to move quickly and freely between the worlds of the mortal and divine, aided by his winged sandals. Hermes plays the role of the soul guide, a conductor, which is, if you think train conductor, time travel train, of souls into the afterlife. He's the member of the 12 Olympians. Hermes has a Kirkion, which is a caduceus, a cathara, an apostasis, which is a round hat, and a traveler's cloak. So this reminded me that round hat of the Mad Hatter. And what's interesting is Hermes also referred to as the planet Mercury. And if you look up the hats that the Mad Hatter wore, the top hats, there was actually mercury that they used to form those hats to keep their form and shape, which caused the blue mass illness, which is interesting how blue is death and then red is life, right? So Mad Hatter, planet Mercury. And that traveler's cloak reminds me of Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. The abode that he resides at is Mount Olympus, and his symbol is the talaria, which is the winged sandals, the caduceus, which is the stake with the two stakes going up it, the tortoise, the lyre, which is that harp, which is in reference to the Lyra constellation as well, and Orpheus. So if you look into my Lyra series, that'll really interest you when it comes to the lyre and all of that, the sirens, the mermaids. It's also the rooster, the pistassos, which is the winged helmet, and the satchel, or the pouch that he carries, the palm tree, and the goat. The number 4 is associated with Hermes, and several kinds of fish and incense. And the caduceus is a winged staff intertwined with 2 snakes copulating, and carvings of other gods it has on it. Its oldest imagery roots in Mesopotamia, and I'll go into that here in a second. Okay, so his abode is Mount Olympus. His symbols, I went over that. And children. One is Pan. So the Roman equivalent to Hermes is Mercury, the Etruscan is Terms, and the Egyptian equivalent is Thoth. Hermes is emissary and messenger of the gods. He is the divine trickster. So the oldest imagery of the caduceus roots in Mesopotamia with Sumerian god Ningishzida. This staff dates back to 400 BC to 3000 BC. The caduceus, by its association with Mercury, the planet, and planetary metal Mercury as well. Interesting. It is said that the wand would wake the sleeping and send the awake to sleep. If applied to the dying, their death was gentle. If applied to the dead, they returned to life. Although the rod of Asclepius, which also only has 1 snake and no wings, is the traditional and more widely used in medicine, the caduceus was sometimes used and adopted as the health symbol. The Homeric hymn to Hermes relates how his half-brother Apollo was enchanted by Hermes, music from his lyre, which is his harp, fashioned from a tortoise shell, which Hermes kindly gave to him. Apollo in return gave Hermes the caduceus as a gesture of friendship. The association with the serpent then connects Hermes to Apollo, as later the serpent was associated with Asclepius, the son of Apollo. The association with Apollo and the serpent is a continuation of the older Indo-European dragon slayer motif. So there's that dragon again. Wilhelm Heinrich Roscher of 1913 pointed out that the serpent, as an attribute of both Hermes and Asclepius variant of the prehistoric semi-chthontic serpent, also known at Delphi as the python, who in classical mythology is slain by Apollo. Some copulating, some fighting, rods stuck in between, therefore symbolizing peace. The caduceus in some ancient vase paintings. The representations features two snakes atop the staff or rod, crossed to create a circle with the heads of snakes resembling horns. This old graphic form, with an additional crossbar to the staff, seems to have provided the basis for the graphical sign of Mercury, used in Greek astrology from late antiquity. So this is the glyph of Mercury with that crescent above his head. It's the same thing. Hermes was an original deity of Babylonian extraction, represented in his earliest form as a snake god. There we go again. From this perspective, the caduceus was originally representative of Hermes himself. In his early form as the underworld god, Nigishizida, Nigishzida, messenger of the Earth Mother, caduceus is really the image of copulating snakes taken over from ancient Near Eastern tradition. Hermes, a role of being a mediator between the worlds, get it? Midway station, Antares, mediator. Hermes, a role of mediator between the worlds of the visible and the invisible. Hermes originated as a form of the god Pan. Pan in Arcadia. Pan was reintroduced to Attica, and Pan was said to be Hermes' son. Pan, you can fly. Shadow to shoe. Winged shoe. Get it? Tying the shadow to the shoe so you can ascend into the higher realm of Neverland. Ningishzida, who, like Hermes, served as a mediator between the humans and the divine, specifically the goddess Ishtar of the supreme Ningirsu, the caduceus was said to have the power to make people fall asleep or wake up. Hermes' sandals, called pedilia by the Greeks, tarlaria by the Romans, were made of palm and myrtle branches described as golden and immortal, and Antares is known as the golden ray. Made a sublime art, able to take the roads with the speed of the wind. Originally they had no wings, but later on wings spring directly from the ankles. A bag in hand, wearing a robe, cloak, which had the power to cover invisibility, to confer invisibility. So it was an invisibility cloak, like in Harry Potter, Hermes wore. His weapon was a harp, which killed Argos, and it was also lent to Perseus to kill Medusa and Cetus, leader of souls, along the road between the under and upper worlds. There's that road, the yellow brick road between, and the rainbow bridge, the under and the upper world. Hermes can convey messages between the divine realms, the underworld, and the world of mortals. The Latin name Mercury may be a title derived from Mediocurrens, Currens, in reference to Hermes' role as a mediator and messenger who moves between the worlds. The Romans identified Germanic god Odin with Mercury also. Hermes and Anubis equals similar as well. Numerous books of wisdom, magic, including astrology, the Theosoph, and alchemy, was attributed to this hysterical Hermes, his Alexandrian form as Hermes Trismegistus. Trismegistus on account of his praise to the Trinity, saying there is one divine nature in the Trinity. And Hermes had been nursed under a wild strawberry tree, which I thought was interesting. So I drew the strawberry, and also we are going to do an Antares reading. Don't mind the background noise. Apologize. Very windy outside. I'm hearing wind dragon. We're going to, ooh, that card wanted to come out. But we'll see. I am pulling for Antares right now, an Antares Starseed reading. Overcoming something to get to some sort of victory, or what you would personally view as a victory. So what you would personally view as a victory, Antares Starseeds. Overcoming some sort of hurdle, but you're doing it with grace. Let's see what else. No one is as strong as you. I just heard from Spirit. No one is as strong as you. Chimes are going. Signals in the reverse. Something you're not seeing when it comes to synchronicities. We have a lot of pink here. So I'm getting like pink dragon energy, which I believe is Andromeda, which does come through Antares, but I do believe a lot of races do. I know the Arcturians work very closely with the Antares Starseeds. Andromedans do. Determination from your past is what's pushing you forward, but don't let it overcome you. Like, don't let the determination push you out of alignment, is what I'm getting. Don't let that determination like overpower you or like hinder you or block you in any way. We have a professional message here, so something to do with your career or your work. Lots of wind when that card flew out. Let's see, what message do the Antares Starseeds need? Whoa, this card just flew out. Introspection from the past that maybe you didn't see as like important, or you didn't see, you were frustrated by it, or you like sort of put it down negatively, meaning like you were like, oh, I don't need to introspect, but you did this introspection. So I'm getting that this introspection, you have slowly started to come out of like a hermit mode, but you're also still introspecting, if that makes sense. Even if you're still in a hermit mode, but I feel like even if you're out of that hermit mode, you're still introspecting. Yeah, intuition here with determination. Intuition with the High Priestess and determination. We have the Lotus on this card too, which is also quite interesting because that's definitely like what we went over. The nurturer, you're being nurtured right now directly from your ancestors and your higher beings of light, your spirit team, your spirit guides. And your work, something from your work in the past. You're over analyzing in your mind. I think you're dwelling, perhaps, what are they dwelling on? It's a rite of passage. Yeah, you're dwelling on leaving behind a 9-to-5, going into something else, or like some sort of like hustle. So if this won't resonate for everyone, but for those that have left their 9-to-5 and have done some sort of side hustle, it's like you're over analyzing this, but you're also simultaneously overcoming this. And this like thought or fear that's coming up right now is a rite of passage for you, leading you into your work, like the work that you're doing now, the spiritual work that you're doing now, that you're over analyzing, thinking that it's not good enough, thinking that your independence isn't good enough. Let's see. But you're triumphing over this. Wow, such a strong message here. Then this card came through. It was so strong. We also had a 4-4-1, so it's like completions, new beginnings of things. Definitely rebirth, like something new here. Something new. Can I get more clarity for them? For the Antares Starseeds, for this something new for everyone that's here right now. What do they need to know? Quite a few cards came out. Hope in the reverse, a visionary in the reverse, defeat. You're allowing this dualistic nature of thinking where we have defeat on the right, which is so funny because it correlates with what I wasn't comprehending with the Antares Starseed goddesses of Allani and Ishhara. One pertaining to the underworld, which would be the defeat, I would say, and one pertaining to Ishhara, which is the Queen of Heaven, which would be pertaining to hope. And we have this visionary, which is you, in the center. But the cards are flipped. So something is flipping here. Pole shift could be, but I'm also getting not just that, I'm getting perception-wise. It's almost like you kind of need to go back to your roots. Go back to how you used to view the work that you did, because 606 just now on the clock, 3333 could be significant. 4-3, so strength and wisdom having to do with balance. So you need to bring and cultivate balance that you used to have, that you flipped in a separate way now, that either like something came up and caused this, or this is your rite of passage. And in order to overcome this rite of passage, you need to get defeat over here and the hope over here. So that way your mentality isn't, oh, I had so much hope before and now I don't. No, you overcame so much from before and now you have hope. That's what you need to flip it to. And this is like, you need to trust your visionary mind. Antares Starseeds, you hold a lot of multidimensionality and a lot of multidimensional thinking and visions. And you need to trust that. You need to trust those visions that you have. I feel like you've definitely come into a new perceptive mind and you've grown, and now it's like you have all these new things that you are learning how to do as far as gifts are concerned that are very subtle as far as energy flows, and you're learning how to tap into those and receive them and do them. Yeah, and they want you to bring in balance. So once you learn how to bring in balance, I think this like overcomes that rite of passage, which can feel like a blockage right now, because you are a leader, but in order to step into this leadership role, you need to learn how to lead yourself first. Okay. And I feel like you do. I feel like you do, but right now it's like, what is this? Passion. Yeah. You need to follow your passions. This will lead you into where you want to go. And it might be confusing right now, Antares Starseeds, on what your passions are. Like if you're an Antares Starseed, like I said, you're very multidimensional. So you could have a lot of passions. And it's not saying, you know, just pick one, just like follow all of them if you can, if you are able. Yeah, and have respect for yourself. Don't let energies get in the way. Don't let disappointments and energies get in the way. Look. These are like people that they're lost. They're lost, and you are a light that shines, but like you can only offer so much. Right now, the focus is on you. Okay. And you may feel like a lack of support and self-sacrifice here, even a lack of funds sometimes. This is where you're getting hung up, and they want you to keep your attraction to somebody private. There's an opportunity coming with romance there that's going to help you with your leadership. But right now you need to focus on yourself, because right now you're obsessing too much on things that are negative, things that haven't worked, things like that. And it's like Spirit just wants you to kind of like try a little harder to transmute those energies. And I know it's really difficult right now for a lot of you, is what I'm picking up on. But they want you to transmute these energies when they flow in into lighter energies, and like really see all that you've done, not only for yourself, but to help others, because this is going to bring in that energy back to the focal point, which is going to help you move forward. Okay. And you are supported. Like you have a lot of guidance here, and I feel like you know that. I'm definitely getting the dragon energies very strongly. Work with your dragons that you see in your mind's eye, in your dreams. You might even see them more in the physicality, and it might be a little odd and off and strange, but just welcome it. Just dip your toes in the water a little bit. Dip your toes in the sand a little bit. Try some new things, you know, like push yourself a little bit beyond Don't be so realistic, you know. Yeah, don't be like a perfectionist. And I know this is so hard for multi-dimensional starseeds because it's like you want to convey things perfectly. It's too hard because you're transforming right now, and right now we do have like rewards and romance at the focal point. This is the message. You're overcoming fear when it comes to that. You are protected there. But I'm also getting that's definitely the truth. But there's like a new phase trying to come in of luck. I'm not going to even say it's trying to come in. It is coming in. And this is where these energies are kind of like clashing, or so it would seem. But this is just a rite of passage for you to learn how to transmute energies, to get back into balance, and to see and perceive hope rather than to see and perceive defeat, even though those are the energies coming in, presenting themselves to you. But because you want to see hope, that's why these energies are coming in, so you can learn how to transmute them for yourself, because no one else can transmute them. They can help assist you, but they can't do that work for you. You have to learn how to do it for yourself. And it's kind of like a tough love kind of thing. And it's going to be very transformative for you. And I feel like you have been doing this, but you will continue to do this. And because of this, it's like you're reevaluating everything. But Spirit's wanting you to just explore more, not to like completely dash and crash everything you've already done. You need to celebrate what you've already done more. And then you need to start expanding a little bit more with these gifts that you know that you have, which I know is bringing you stress, but that's the whole point. It's to like kind of stretch you beyond, to get you more comfortable with your own energy and expressing that energy out. I'm hearing prana. You're feeling sad because you've been over-analyzing so much, but remember, this is a 3 of wings, which is also bringing balance back to those emotions and feelings that you've been experiencing. It's all kind of like a test right now. Spirit wants you to keep pushing forth and to keep going. Don't be so possessive over like reevaluating what you've already done. You need to let that go. Just explore your creativity. Even if it's like it doesn't always work, we have crisis and change and support. Yeah, there's a change coming in and you're viewing it as, but they want you to cultivate patience, keep it private, and don't worry about snakes in the grass because they're being taken care of by your ancestry, as you have duly noted recently. Like, and they've shown you what's been occurring with these individuals, like how they take care of them per se. It's all karma. It's their karma, but it's like all these lessons that are intertwining, right? But your spirit team takes care of it. You don't really have to do anything except what they guide you to do, which is to just limit yourself from those energies as much as you possibly can and learn and ask yourself what you can learn from them. And I feel like intuitively you already do this. Okay. The luck, the generosity, and the reversal leader. Yeah. So this new phase is asking you to be more open, which is really hard right now because you're being presented with energies of mistrust because of what you've been shown and presented. So it's wanting you to have patience here too. And there's some sort of exploration that you're kind of curious about with these energies. And it's like so you're saying they think they're playing you, but in fact you're playing them. And that's kind of like the cruel joke. Like they come in with all these like manipulative ideas on how to quote unquote destroy you or bring you down. But like literally only God could do that. And so when they attempt this and God sees their intentions and your ancestry and your light being squad sees their intentions, it's like, nah, it's not going to work. Like you might think it works temporarily because that's what they're going to show them. So that way they can think that they won when in fact they haven't. And then afterwards, when they realize the harsh reality that they have not won and karma gets sent back times 10 on them, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, that's the only way to teach them sometimes, you know? And you don't have to do anything or say anything. Like it all gets done for you because that's the position of ascension that you're residing at right now. You're so cultivated and expanded and such a pure being of light that it's like exactly, anything that comes to clash with that energy instantly gets transmuted. If spirit sends them the illusion that they're winning, they are doing that on purpose so that way they can think that they've won, and then it's like boom, the karma hits, and then they're like, oh shit, you know. But that's the way to teach them sometimes, is, you know, how spirit teaches you with tough love too. Sometimes that's the way to teach them. You could be feeling distracted a lot. There is a romance here at the bottom of the deck, so you could be very like focused and distracted right now on a specific romance, which is okay and normal. I'm getting this person feels mutual feelings that you feel for a lot of you watching. Like that's what I'm picking up collectively, and they might not always be the best at showing that, but I'm getting like intuitively that they feel the same way. Okay, so like just as intense as your feelings are for them, they are for you. And yeah, so I'm getting this person is what's helping you to evolve and change as well, and you're helping them to evolve and change, and you're like kind of like a safety net for this person and vice versa. And it's very strong. Like I'm getting like very strong, very grounded energy here. Can I get a little bit more on this specific romantic person? They're saying leader as well. And there's a challenge here. Could be third party situation, doesn't have to be. That could be person, place, or thing, or a job, doesn't have to be a person. They're an empath as well. Their feelings like are very strong, but they have a hard time expressing them. They're at a crossroads right now, and they want to build something with you. They might feel like you have a lot of options, or you feel like they do. They're trying to give you courage to move towards them, and so they can celebrate with you, but it's also up to this person as well. What else can I get for this specific person? Success here. So it's in the reverse because it hasn't become acquired yet, because there's still transformation that needs to happen before your joy and fulfillment can come in, but there will be union. And it feels difficult because of the opposition, the frustration from others, but the focal point is the romance, and this is the truth. And this person and you are helping to overcome fear in order to have love. And we do have union here. Okay. There's some change of perspectives and attitudes and adjustments that need to that need to progress and come in, and letting go of anxieties and habits here. What's motivating both of you? Obsession energies, which is really difficult when you're infatuated with somebody and they're infatuated with you, but you both are simultaneously transmuting these energies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle these and just see if there's any other messages that need to come through as final thoughts and summaries and conclusions for this Antares reading. I'm hearing fighting through illusions, like fighting through illusions. I'm getting light language right now, so we're going to do a transmission for Antares Starseeds. Ikara ashadakiara shanakaya sarira sharaira hasarakira usarakaya tia waskara irawa ishanakai ud at eat at ud eat the oda ad eshikila sanakai eat at otoshiditi atuta hesaditia tia kua shuadadi leladu alatia tamahana hanakia tia wasaya kaya Ishodokura shnika shida kaira shkudur shkidagi ale it od ishtinkaya isn't kid at a shidikid at I eat od. So they're interrupting me right now. What they're doing and what they want you to what they want me to let you know is they're repairing circuitries right now. within the body, within your energy field and aura. So that way, when you do expand your light, which will be coming soon, there is no blockages for you, okay? They're working very strongly with you every day. They're saying every day they're repairing, and they're helping you to transmute and transform. So they're repairing these blockages within your auric field. Dragon. Saya kura Ishaya kura ara mahana kayati Yesona kura ud adi shikaragia Yesona kura ora ira. I have elemental beings of fairies and mermaids coming through. Ira ada ero ora shikaria makara ero ataya kira ashanaki asia haya ira ora ada eya kia usara ira ara iro usurire kira mahanakaya kia sura eshere eteodura shaya isa kaya hasaya kaya mahanakaya ira turati aka irokura ero ora ashaya. They're telling me they want me to post my song. Oh God. Okay. I have this like throat chakra blockage shit that I am working through, and I think all of us could have some sort of blockage in one of our chakras that we're working through, which is so human and normal. But anyways, they want me to post a song that I created at the end of this. I guess it was for this moment in time. Iru ura sherekia sakaya tiawaskaya isa asakia. It's very siren mermaid sounding. Ara iro shenahayati. And Antares is coming through it very strongly, they're saying. That's why they have me recorded. Okay, so I will be posting that at the end of this. Irakai. They're just finishing up some blockages and repairs here, crossing some wires that need to be connected. They want you to look at like blue wires and red wires and see them as connecting into the right places, so that way your circuitry is ever flowing and easy and effortless for you. So you can express your chakras, each and every one of them, with full confidence and light. Don't worry about what other people say, you're helping them. Yes, all is well. Thank you. Avanya. Okay. Wow. That was awesome. It was kind of like weird for me because I haven't channeled light language in a little while. I say a little while, but it's probably been a couple of weeks, but still. And I get shy on camera, but and different dialects, like when they come through, I feel really odd, but it's good at the same time. Like, see, this is a way that we're like pushing ourselves a little bit more to expand a little bit more, and also exploring like different avenues with whatever chakras we kind of feel uncomfortable with, just expanding them and expressing them a little bit more, like pushing that edge. It's really going to help you all. I really appreciate all of you. If you wanted a more in-depth personal reading with me, I do offer starseed readings where I channel and automatic write all of your starseed origins. We go over those in depth, and we pull a personalized reading that your light being guides have as far as messages for you. Those are amazing. You could check out all my reviews on Etsy. If you just wanted a general personal reading, I can do that. And if you wanted just a love focused reading, whether it be soulmate, twin flame, or just someone that you want to hear how they feel about you, I offer the divinely channeled messages with the text bubbles and the music and some of my videos that you guys love and go crazy over. And I also have card readings, which are called my personal love readings. I also have a bilocations course if you're wanting to learn how to work with your light body and time travel and literally travel anywhere in the universe and on this earth or in the cosmos in different dimensions. That is very interactive. It's a 1-hour course. It's pre-recorded, and you get to keep that link for life, and everyone has loved it. I also teach you how to channel light language and also how to translate light language. How to channel it, part 1, how to translate it, part 2. And then I also have a money manifestation course on there and tons of Lemurian meditations, twin flame meditations, and 1-hour timeless readings, which are meant for you at the time that you're drawn to them. Whenever you're drawn to them, there's a message or light language activation for you in those, and they're all an hour long pre-recorded. All those links you get to keep for life, and you can find all the details down below under my Etsy shop, which is Kimberkiss Readings, all one word. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can find my Gmail down there, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at Kimberkiss_cosmic_queen. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you so much again. Thank you for receiving all these codes. I love you so much. And until next time, guys and gals, I will talk to you soon. Bye now.